at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drape on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SacktownSports.com and the Sacktown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drape.
No Kyle Draper today. You got Jay and Whitey. And Jay, how about those Kings? Another game. It seems like early in the year, the Kings were losing games we expected them to win. Last night, once again, they win a game that it looked like, they might let this one slip away. They showed grit, determination, gumption. And how about Malik Monk just staring down the dog last night, staring down Dylan Brooks? You know Doug Christie had to be thrilled. And I'll say it again, home court advantage is back. I don't know how long it's going to stay, but it looks like it's here to stay. Jay, home court advantage is back at Golden One.
Like it never left, Whitey.
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying to tell you, man, it was last night for me was probably, I want to say the win of the year, because I think the double overtime win for me was the win of the year. But I also
know what you mean, though. You had to think. I mean, I've been wondering about that myself. I'm with you.
Yeah, like I think they needed that. And I think I texted you that earlier. I thought they needed that type of win. We need to see this Kings team be stretched to the limits. We need to see this Kings team be pushed, prodded, poked, socked, jabbed, scratched, clawed. We saw De'Aaron showing his arm 3 or 4 times to whoever he was talking to on the floor from Houston. I think you need to see that. And for me, that's something I question this Kings team about, is being gritty, being tough. Mm-hmm. If somebody socks you in the mouth, can you sock them back? And so that to me was one of the better wins of the season, not the best one.
Yeah, I'm with you. It was right up there, certainly. I think one of the reasons everything feels so special right now, there's actually a number of things that are going on. And first and foremost, of course, they have the new coach, and it looks like he's doing a great job, and he is. But it's also the way he's doing it and the fact that it's him doing it. So Doug Christie kind of providing a link to the Kings' past, which fans are on board with. It's like, oh, yeah, it's all coming together. All of our Kings history now, it's all coming together and headed in the right direction. And now that you've got the organization the whole organization clearly behind this coach, I think that frees up the players to understand, all right, this is what we're all doing. And the culture is starting to solidify. And it's not just what Doug Christie is doing, and he's doing a lot. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm not belittling anything that he's done. He's done a great job. But the fact that everyone's behind him now, I think there was a while there, if you're a player like Mike, doesn't seem like he's sure he's going to get the extension or what's going on. And that can't help but creep into your mind. There's a little doubt there. But now it's not just what Doug's doing. It's like that whole dark cloud of what are we doing exactly? That's all gone. But the bottom line is they're just playing such great basketball. They're playing a lot better than it looked like they were going to play in the preseason, right, Jay? I mean, you saw the preseason like, well, I guess they got to figure some things out. And now it's like a switch has been flipped. And
now you can really hear a thunderous Light the Beam chant.
It's just behind you.
Yes,
don't stop talking, man.
Yeah. They're playing, I don't know, Houston was shorthanded last night. I don't want Brian Windhorst to text me. I know they didn't have all their guys, but they're playing like one of the best teams in the West. And you look at the standings and they're right there. But obviously, after that slow start, you have to keep it going.
Yeah, absolutely. You put yourself in a hole. I was sitting there looking at the standings a little earlier today, and 21-20. And I'm just like, man, if they would have won 4 or 5 games, the Pistons game, Portland game, like if they would have won a few games that they needed to win, this would have been a lot easier. And albeit it may not, we might not be where we are as of today with as far as coaching, showing grit, beating the Houston Rockets the way they did, because Houston just kept coming. One thing about them, and I've said this over the last 2 years, and I've had this conversation with Coach Doug Christie about this, is the one thing about Houston, and you knew once they got Coach Ime Udoka that nothing else, and you didn't even seen Ime, he was flipping the bird a few times yesterday to the officials, which why wasn't he teed up? Like I get it, but you flipping the bird to the officials to the point to where you that comfortable, But for me, I like that type of stuff. I like when you come to me and talk a little mess, because then that pumps me up even more. And so I don't think the Kings necessarily are that team to start it. But as I've said before, I think they have a bunch of guys that's not going to tuck tail and run. I think you have to pull it out of them. And I think that's what Coach Doug Christie is starting to do.
I think some of the guys on the Kings, you're actually doing them a favor when you treat them that way.
Agreed. De'Aaron's one of them to me.
You get their full attention.
DeMar is another one.
Yeah. One of the things that I love most about Doug Christie and the job he's doing so far, and it's something I think the whole league should look at, the fact that last night he was telling Keon Ellis, I forget which official it was. I don't know which official it was. He's telling Keon Ellis, hey, let him do his job. He wasn't belittling Keon, but we heard him. He was on mic saying, I'm trying to build some standards here. The fact that you've got a coach who's trying to get his team to focus more on playing and less on going after the officials, that's something the whole league should be looking at, because that's a great look for everybody. And it does seem to be another thing that's helping the Kings focus on the task at hand. Don't look for excuses or someone to blame. Just do your job better.
Yeah, agreed. I think we all could look at ourselves in that situation. There's times I'm like, dang, we could have did that better. I could have did that better. You're holding yourself to a standard, accountability, right? And so the NBA has an accountability problem in many ways. And I don't know if you watched the post game of TNT, Charles was talking about that a few times, like when it came to the Sacramento Kings. And I agree with them to a certain extent. The players definitely aren't held accountable as much as the coach, the general manager. It's funny because those are the people who do it every single day, but they make so much money. They are the product.
Right.
And so it's hard, to hold them accountable in many different ways. Unless Dylan Brooks, unless you're Draymond, people dislike you, or you're Ben Simmons, you're not performing up to the standard. But every single night, we know there's people who mess up. We understand there are people who make mistakes every single night, but the accountability in the NBA is at an all-time low for me, for sure.
I understand that point, and that's a great point. I also saw that after the game where Shaq and Charles Barkley were talking about the Mike Brown firing, which I don't know how you feel about it, Jay. To me, it's like I'm watching it going, I know those guys don't really know anything about this. They have not watched this team play.
Yeah, you're not tied to something like that.
So, Charles Barkley says, well, the coach is always good playing. The players need to take accountability. All right, to your point, sure. But in this case, what does that mean? Are they supposed to say, no, the coach stays, we're leaving? I mean, what is a player supposed to do in that case? And I think, Charles probably doesn't follow it closely enough to know, but quite often during the season, right before Mike Brown got dismissed, Kings players did. They said, he's right. We need to do better.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's easy to say, the players need to take responsibility. In this case, I don't know what exactly he meant by that.
Well, I think it's part of just what you said. He's not up on, he's on the surface of what's going on with Sacramento Kings. He's not tied to, the intricacies of what's really happening and watching practice. And albeit I'm not tied to what's going on in the Brooklyn Nets every single day. I'm not tied to what's going on in Miami. I'm not following Iron Wyndham and guys like that. So, I'm not going to sit up here and lie like I'm tied to everybody's beat, but you definitely have to do a deeper dive sometimes before when you have a national platform,
right?
And they get away with that. And I'm going to keep it a buck. Let me say this. And I know this is blasphemy to say when you talk about them. I like Shaq. It sounds crazy because he's a Laker. I remember as a Laker, but I always enjoy Shaq. I always thought he kept it light. I thought he's playful. He helps people all the time. You see a bunch of stuff. I've heard nothing but great things about Shaq when it comes to being a person, not personal life, as a person. Chuck has always been pleasant with me, as has Kenny. Never met Ernie Johnson. Sometimes, though, I think they get away with stuff where they're just putting a Band-Aid on something because of who they are.
Yeah.
And it's tough to call. It's like it's one of these things. And we have it to an extent. If a caller or listener calls in and it's something we might disagree with, of course, they're only going to have a certain amount of time, ample time, where we could talk about it for 3 hours if we possibly wanted to, right? We kind of deftone them out. And I think they get away with that in certain instances. albeit they're great at what they do.
They are.
But, definitely get away with something.
Yeah, I like that show a lot. I'm glad that it doesn't look like it's going to go away.
Nah, it ain't going.
I know they still.
Man,
have a few
it was
things left
never.
to figure out.
It was never close.
Really?
Too much money, man.
Yeah.
Too much money.
But I think that shows that it's worse when you have a situation like last night, which we're bringing up only because they were talking about the Kings, where you've got them arguing over something that they don't really know that much about. Then they start bickering about it.
I know.
Shaq got his feelings hurt a little bit.
They start getting personal.
Yeah, and it's like, oh my goodness.
I got 6 championships, loser. You called him a loser. You ain't been to the finals. And that's I guess that's what makes them entertaining.
Yeah. They're more entertaining when they do other things. But like you said, they put a Band-Aid on something because it's like, here it is, the Kings played. So this is the big topic. So you guys have to address this. Okay.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, it was kind of a waste of everybody's time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And they didn't, to be completely honest, and I know you're throwing jabs at them. And you know what's cold is they're the type of show that would get this and try to fire back at because they're like that, right?
Uh-huh.
Like Chuck and all them are like that. But the other part is I felt like they didn't even talk about the game enough. You know, it definitely wasn't no love towards the Kings, and that's cool. Believe me, I'm the first person who always says we got to change our narrative. But for that game to be the way it went down, and OKC and Cleveland to be a stinker, I thought it was you had some primetime entertainment. They could have really, chewed on it a little more.
Well, it was a great game. Right? It was a truly great game. Obviously, if you're a Kings fan, the ending made it even better, but that was a tremendous NBA
Oh, yeah,
game.
it was, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No one's going to be complaining about the NBA who watched that game.
Unless you're the Rockets fans.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, we got to see how the 2-minute report.
Yeah, Rocket fans were up in arms last night.
I thought those were, for the most part, really good calls.
I did, too.
Calls down the stretch.
I actually thought they got away with a feat.
I was just going to say
even the one that with Domas, I guess it came off his leg. Again, I know that's not Domas. That's really not the way the Kings are. Man, somebody slapped me like that in that type of, I'm about to fall, flip, hit a tuck, roll, spin, whatever. And then I'm going to jump up and go crazy like Draymond. Like, he just took it and kept pushing. That's cool.
Right.
But too many times you see guys in the NBA get away with those things, meaning they fall to the ground like somebody just shot them and they get a foul. Domas just took it like, hey, well, that's turnover. Like, nah, man, you can't do that. Fall over there by by Stan Van Gundy.
Coach Kinko's, yes. Is it true? Are the rumors true that Drapes is going to join us here?
Allegedly.
Yeah. We think we're going to have a special edition of Drapes
You
Takes.
think I got to call him or he's going to call in?
Well, since he texted today and said, hey, don't forget I got my thing, I think he'll call in. He's probably listening right now.
I'm saying we got to call him.
All right. We'll find out what happens next on Sacktown Sports.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's great.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures, until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive, so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side, your Sleep Number setting. And now it's our lowest price of the season on our top-selling i8 smart bed. Your best savings, plus free home delivery with any base. exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
0 hour, 9 a.m. And I'm gonna be high.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/SacktownSports1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Sorry about that, Houston Rockets. You come to Sacramento, that's what happens. It's happened twice to them already this year. 2 big wins for the Kings last night. Phenomenal win. There's no better way to celebrate it here than with, is he ready to go? Yeah, special edition of Drapes Takes. He's out on the road somewhere.
You got to let him talk first.
Yeah.
What's up, fellas? What's happening?
Hey.
What's going on? I was about to call in. Then I heard you say, do you think he'll call in or not? And I was like, screw that. Jay can call me. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
man, he's petty.
When they want Jordan to show up to an event, they don't be like, Mike, can you call us? Mike's like, yo, you call me. You come pick me up. That's how it is. And same thing with LeBron. So I'm glad Jay called me up, man. Appreciate that.
Well, you
texted late, though, too. What time is it? He told me 2:15. I thought we said.
No. I didn't know. You told us. I didn't tell you. Yeah. Come on, LeBron.
I'm listening to Whitey go on and reading the box score and everything. I'm like, bro, toss the break and come back to Drape Steaks, man. What are we doing here?
Well, we had another feature lined up with Mark Jones, new thing called Jonesy's Joint, but it fell through. We're going to go Jonesy's Joint instead of Drape Steaks, but it fell through last minute. Yeah, so.
Yeah, we didn't need all the cliches, man. We didn't need all the cliches. So, no, man.
Oh, man.
Y'all killing me, man. Yeah. So what we talking about? Do I need to just get into it, or you want to set me up? How we doing it?
It's up to you. When you're ready for it, just ask Jay for your music. And
Jay, give me my music, man. I need my music right now.
Calm down. Take it easy,
man. I'm listening to you guys, which I always do, believe it or not, when I'm not in studio, and I have a chance to listen. I still listen to the Drive Guys show, #1 show in Sacramento. And you guys touched on a point I was going to make during Drape Steak, so I'll start there. I'm watching TNT. I'm watching Inside the NBA, and I'm listening to Charles, Shaq, and Kenny, and the first thing out of Charles' mouth is, man, it's hard to win when it's 8-on-5. I don't know if you guys heard that.
Yeah, I did.
And I'm just like, what? Come on, man. What is he? This was a great basketball game. 2 heavyweights going at it. And the first thing out of Charles's mouth is, the refs were favoring the Rockets, basically. And so as I'm watching this show, it's pissing me off even more, fellas. For Charles to say, and I don't know, Whitey, if you heard this, and Jay, he talking about the Sacramento Kings. They got the worst defense in the league. Well, actually, Charles, that's not factually correct. And so my issue with the Inside the NBA crew is they know basketball. They know basketball, but they don't know the league. They don't know the NBA. They don't know the storylines of each team. They don't know where each team is. Sure, they can look at the standings, but they don't have the analytics. They don't have the stats to back up any of their arguments. And I heard you, Jay and Whitey, they're probably better off actually not talking basketball than actually trying to talk basketball, look dumb. Like, that show is still a great show. I still tune in. They're hilarious. But we can't look to them guys for our basketball knowledge, their basketball opinions. We got to look at them and say, you know what? I need a laugh tonight, so let me turn on these jokers. I don't turn on them for their basketball knowledge.
Yeah, well, the bad thing, Drapes, is, as we said yesterday, the Kings on the national stage a chance to show everybody what's going on, and then they do, and then you got Charles Barkley, saying, oh, boy, that wasn't that good, and they were lucky, and that it's unfortunate that he didn't give them the credit that they obviously deserved.
Exactly, and then they started arguing about the Mike Brown situation, and at one point, maybe it was just me, they were arguing each other's point. Like, it kind of flip-flopped there for a minute. Like, and Shaq saying coaches aren't that important, and so that show jumped the shark for me at that point, man, and it's upsetting because it's a great show. I just wish maybe they did a little more research, I guess, and knew the league better. They know basketball, but they don't know what's going on in the league. And to say that the Kings are the worst defensive team in the league, when you look at the numbers, they actually haven't been for a couple of years now, a few years. So what are we talking about? That old tired narrative is played out as far as I'm concerned regarding the Kings defense. All right, so that was going to be my last take, but I had to bring it to the forefront because you guys were just touching on that. Let's talk about that game. And I'm going to start with the heavyweight matchup in the middle, Domantas Sabonis and Alfred Sengun. To me, both deserve to be all-stars. I thought they were both fantastic. They both made plays, and you look at the stat line, it's very similar. Like, for Sengun to be labeled baby Sabonis, I think it's pretty accurate. They have a lot of things. And so give them both credit, but I'm going to give my boy Domas a little more credit. Remember, I said anytime I do a Drapes take, I got to talk about Domantas Sabonis. You guys might have seen this. I didn't know until today that Domas is leading the league in three-point percentage.
Yeah, I heard about that.
See that?
Past Jokic 2 days ago.
Yeah, they were talking about that last night. Yeah, how about that?
Unbelievable. I mean, and that was the biggest thing, right? Oh, this guy got to be, stretch it out. He's doing a hell of a job from behind the arc, shooting better than 47%. Like, that is, you got to give him some credit, man. And one thing I'm seeing from Domas, whatever he's working on in the offseason, he's starting to trust it now during the game. There's no hesitation in that three-point shot. And kudos to him and Doug Christie for putting in that work during the offseason. So that's one take. My second take, or third take, got to do it. My guy, DeMar DeRozan. Fellas, can we at least say there's no more question about whether DeMar fits on the team or not, right? Can that whole narrative be dead? Like, we see exactly how DeMar fits on this team. We don't win that game without that dude. 16 points in the fourth quarter, 33 for the game, knock down the free throws, hit big shots, tough shots. That's exactly what this team needed, because now it's not all on De'Aaron Fox to close out teams. Now you got another great closer. So on a night when De'Aaron Fox isn't efficient from the field, you could turn to DeMar DeRozan to bring you home.
You know what, Drapes, and I don't mean to trip you up here. I know you're on a roll, but that narrative, let's say the Kings win a first-round series. They go into a second-round series against somebody. They lose in 7 games, and DeMar DeRozan scores, 17 points or something. There are going to be some people go, yeah, well, see, it's a fit. I knew it was a bad fit all along.
Exactly. The Hollingers, the O'Connors of the world. Yeah. Anytime the Kings lose, it's DeMar DeRozan. Dude, he's been fantastic, man. He's been great. So give him some love. Another guy I want to give some love. Can we give Keegan Murray some love? Can we get off his back? Can we get off his back a little bit? I thought what we saw from Keegan Murray, you can look at the box score, 18 and 11. Fantastic. But the one move he made in transition, where he went behind the back and then had the finish, to me, what I'm seeing from Keegan Murray, and I said this, I think, the other day, between him and Keon Ellis, they're showing more freedom under Doug Christie than anybody else. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing Keegan take more chances offensively. I'm seeing Keegan not necessarily wave off Sabonis, but not immediately just toss it to Sabonis because Sabonis is asking for it. And so I need to see more of that development from Keegan Murray, but I was impressed, obviously, with the 18 points, obviously with the moves, but how about the hustle on the glass also?
Yeah.
Battling. He kept I thought he was fantastic rebounding the ball last night.
He had that big smile after that play, but after the game, Malik explained that he gave him the thumbs down on that. Malik, on that drive, he gave him the thumbs down because of the way he finished, Drapes.
Malik is hard to please, man. That's dude. I tell you, he is hard to please. And speaking of Malik, I'm going to throw him in this Drapes take also. We saw his value last night. I mean, the way he sets up his teammates, his facilitating, obviously getting ball to Domantas Sabonis, that's something we missed last game out there in Milwaukee. I mean, I don't know, whoever we trade for, it's going to be pretty hard to put Malik Monk back on the bench. Not because he's going to be pissed off or anything, but because he's that good for this team in the starting lineup. I don't know how you put him back on the bench. I don't care if you go out there and get Cam Johnson or go out there and get my boy John Collins. It's going to be hard to put Malik back on the bench.
Yeah. Are you still interested potentially in Kelly Olynyk? I saw it today just a little while ago. The Warriors are talking about looking at him a little bit.
I do like Olynyk if he can be healthy. He's a great passer, can knock down the shot. A ball mover, high IQ basketball player. 100%. I would be on Kelly Olynyk. Let me wrap up Drape's take with this, Whitey and Jay. We got to get off the back of De'Aaron Fox.
Yes, sir.
I got people texting me last night. Dad, De'Aaron Fox is selling, and he said right here at the car next to me.
You got people, huh?
Yeah. I got people texting me. Dad, De'Aaron Fox is selling because he went 6 of 17. But I'm telling you, did you see him in the fourth quarter? Did you see him with the 3 steals in the fourth? Did you see him with the defensively? And so De'Aaron Fox, to me, can make an impact greater than just scoring the basketball. And I thought on a night where his shot wasn't falling like he wanted, he did other things to help this team win. And that's what great players do. Some nights you ain't going to be able to hit for 30 or 40, but don't let that define you. And I thought he did a hell of a job defensively, especially in that fourth quarter.
Yes, Drapes, give him some love too, man, because there's been tons and tons of detractors. Free throws. It's something definitely we're going to talk about, but you got to separate him from others. His free throw shooting was impeccable last night.
Yes, he was, and I don't think we give enough credit to that, Jay. Not only him, Domas as well. And to me, what this shows me is these guys are putting in the work in the offseason to get better. It's not like they're loafing off or anything like that and just showing up and hooping on their God-given talents. These guys are working hard. De'Aaron knocking down the free throws, DeMar knocking, Domas. I mean, we've turned into an elite free throw shooting team, and that's the difference in some of these games.
Yep. Fourth quarter, DeMar DeRozan 5 for 5, Fox 5 for 5, Malik 3 for 3, 13 for 13 in the fourth quarter last night. Impeccable.
You know what that is, Whitey? That's winning basketball, big fella.
Yep.
That's winning basketball.
Yes, sir.
And so shout out to the Kings, man. Great environment last night. I was out there as well, and it was great to see them get a win. Jay, that's Drapes Takes. It's brought to you by
Alsco Uniforms. Discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms.
How'd the basketball game go last night, Drapes?
Oh, I should have had that in Drapes Takes. I dominated, big fella. I dominated. All right, first of all, my team got the win.
Yeah.
The team got the win.
What's the name of the
scored
squad?
9 points. The Galactics or something. I don't even know how they came up with the name. Yeah, some outer space stuff. But I only had 9 points, fellas. And I should have did. I was 0 for 2 from 3. I did not knock down my free throws. It was actually my first basketball game since the last time I played in the league. And my wind was up. I was good. 9 points and helped my team get the win. I felt good about my performance last night.
That's good, but I had you for 11, so I'm a little disappointed.
Remember, my over-under was 6.5. Yeah. I didn't even believe in myself as much as you believed in me. You know what I mean?
Did you swipe anything off the glass?
Yeah, I got a couple rebounds, but we got this one big guy. He's like 6'5", 300, and so he's swallowing up everything.
Big Oliver Miller down there, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And he likes to shoot the 3 ball. He's more outside, too, and so he gobbled up all the rebounds. And so, fortunately, I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to worry. I could just focus on scoring the basketball,
all right,
which I did.
Yeah. So, enjoy your holiday weekend. We know we'll get to see you right with the call on Sunday.
Yes, back on the call Sunday. Let's make it.
I might come out then. I didn't know Drapes was on the ones and twos.
Yeah,
come see. We letting you know. Come support.
We'll see you, Drapes. We'll see you out there.
All right, fellas.
Thank you.
All right.
Yep. Drapes Takes when we come back. Yeah, in defense of De'Aaron Fox. When we come back, Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the San Francisco 49ers.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's finally Friday. In the afternoon, expect to have temperatures down slightly today with light winds. Highs will peak in the lower 60s. Plan for overnight lows back to the 30s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers Game Day by securing your 2025 season tickets now. Inventory is limited, so speak with a representative. Dial 415-GO-NINERS and reserve your seats. That's 415-GO-NINERS.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Elk Grove Honda reports that Honda has earned 3 coveted 2025 Car and Driver 10 Best Awards for the 3rd year in a row, honoring the Honda Civic, Honda Accord, and Honda CR-V. Honda Accord wins for a record 39th time. You can see and drive all the new 2025 award-winning models at Elk Grove Honda and see why Honda cars and trucks continue to impress the critics. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
This 49er injury report is brought to you by Jeremy Winter, attorney at law. He cares because he's been there. After an injury-plagued 2024 season, which ended 6-11 and out of the playoffs, the 49ers will focus on getting healthy in the offseason. Running backs Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason, and Isaac Guerrero all suffered season-ending injuries. Left tackle Trent Williams' ankle kept him out late in the year, and Brock Purdy missed the season finale with a hurt elbow. 49ers hope to enter 2025 with a full roster back intact.
Serious accident. You deserve the law offices of Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237. Jeremy lost his mother in a car accident and knows firsthand the pain caused by tragedy. That is why he became an attorney to fight for others who are going through a tragedy. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, you deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com. Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Thanks to Kyle Draper for joining us. He's off today. He'll be on the call for NBC Sports California on Sunday, and then he's back. We're all back on Tuesday. We didn't have much time with Drapes. Jay, I didn't get a chance to ask him what he thinks of Jared Verse of the Rams. Now, Jared Verse of the Rams, they're going to play. We'll talk more about that coming up on the show. They're going to play probably in the snow in Philadelphia this week. Jared Verse is from Pennsylvania. He went to high school about a little more than 2 hours from Philadelphia. So it's kind of a homecoming for him. So you think, oh, he's a Philadelphia guy. Jared Verse of the Rams said, I hate Eagles fans. They're so annoying. I hate Eagles fans. Now, first of all, that makes him my new favorite football player. But why would you do that, Jay?
I know right now.
Before you go in to play them.
Just wait a little bit. Don't give him the bulletin board, right? Yeah. You know, the other part about it is I saw the clip. I mean, I saw this in text. I need to find the clip because I need that for a drop. I hate, I can't stand Eagle fans.
Yes.
So if you've seen it, let me know.
Okay.
I haven't went and looked for it. I just saw the storyline. But
yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm with you. Don't say it now.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Yes. And somebody asked Saquon Barkley about it, and I think he was kind of incredulous, like, I don't know why you would say that now. So that should be a fun game. I don't know if it'll be, it could be one-sided, but don't you like watching games in the snow? I mean, it's supposed to really snow.
It's supposed to be freezing on the East Coast, Northeast this next 4 or 5 days. So absolutely. Yeah, I'm all in for that. This is, people, they call it the eclipse of sports, which is when baseball's going, basketball, football, so on and so forth. I like now as well, like, playoff time, football, normally the Niners in the thick of it. Of course, they're not this year, but we're also starting to kind of make way in the NBA. I don't want to say teams are separating themselves because they're not.
Yesterday was a halfway point.
Yeah. And so it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, now we're starting to really find out who some of these teams are. This team's going to be around for the rest of the year. That team, they're probably getting ready to be sellers. So I think we have a good idea where most teams are right now in the NBA. And I like that. Then you throw the playoffs on, and then all day, because we're on the West Coast, you get a little morning game, even though I think it starts a little later this week. But you get a morning date, and you gotta kind of watch the Kings game and the night game, playoff game together. I'm all for that.
It does kind of stink, doesn't it? It's been 5 years since the 49ers were out of the playoffs, and it just feels so weird. Like, man, there's no 49er playoff game. Not again.
Yeah, I couldn't go with the loud one. I go with the whisper.
Right.
Because
we're
not screaming. Back. Oh, yeah. Next year.
Back.
Watch it.
Yeah. Before we get back to the Kings, I have one more ice cream note. Yesterday I brought back the ice cream that Drapes had brought in from Leatherby's, and I took it in and then put it back in the freezer so people could enjoy, because that's what Drape said he wanted people to do. So I put it in there, and I know Kyle Ledbetter and I think Kyle Draper had some yesterday. So when it came in today, I just wanted to check and see how much was in there. They had some other ice cream in there because they had a birthday party yesterday. Yes, I'll give you one guess what the brand is of the other ice cream.
Kirkland.
Yes.
I said it yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Because where we are located, we're very close to a Costco.
Yeah.
Right. And so every single time something goes on here, I've walked by, even though more times than not, we come in an afternoon and it's over with.
Yeah.
So we see the trimmings, right? We see the packages in the the leftovers in the trash. And I look and I'm like, oh, Kirkland.
Yeah. I couldn't believe that. I don't know if I've ever seen Kirkland ice cream before. I knew it existed. I just don't know if I've ever seen it.
Are you a Costco guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can't. Costco is like DMV. Just, got to go get some products. It is one of the worst experiences that you possibly can have.
Well, you got to know when to go and all that. It helps.
Yeah, but I'm not mapping out my times to go to Costco.
There's your problem.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? I don't grocery shop. Rarely go to Costco. And if it is, it's the get in and get out type thing. Or, for the wife or for my daughter. More times than not, they're looking for a certain specific thing. But when you do go in there, there's so much going on. It just catches you.
Right.
So it's like, I don't like coming in there. Then the lines longer than the DMV line.
Overload.
It is.
Yeah, that's why I hesitated, because I don't go there a lot, but I know we shop there, so I enjoy their goods. So that's why. Are you a Costco guy?
Man? Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't
get
go
what you're
there
saying.
a lot. Yeah.
You put that on the significant other.
I don't put it on her. She takes that upon herself.
Okay.
Makes that happen.
Good verbiage, dear sir. Don't let me get you in trouble.
You're right. To put that upon
You're absolutely right. I said that wrong. Excuse me, Mrs. Gleason.
Yes. She's fun. By the way, she couldn't believe it last night. We're watching the game at home, and when they said that Sabonis is now number 1 in the league in 3-point shooting, she's like, "What? Is that right?" I was like, "Yeah." She's how? When I said it's like 13 for his last 20 or something.
Yeah,
it's
13
incredible.
For 20 going into last night. He's and shouts out to Drapes talking about it. Him and Coach Doug Christie, meaning Domantas Sabonis, over the last couple of years have been all around this globe working together. Basketball for Borders, they went out this past year prior to the season starting. They were shooting over in Spain. Domas, when he was playing internationally, Coach Doug Christie was traveling with them then, so I definitely know they have put in the time over the last couple of years to normally, and here's a peek behind the curtain, Whitey, I'm pretty sure you know of this because of your expertise around the game, but for people who don't know, normally assistant coaches work with 2 players. They're normally assimilated to 2 players per team it got to the point to where Domas and Coach Doug Christie were working so well together for whatever reason, and I don't know this reason, but Doug, because at one point in time, Coach Doug was working with Davion Mitchell as well, and this year they just pulled that back and said, hey, you go ahead and take Domantas Sabonis. So super interesting. I'm not sure exactly why, and I never thought to ask him either.
I want to see if anyone else has noticed this. Maybe I'm wrong, but to my eye, you go back a couple years ago when the Warriors had success in the playoffs by just giving Domas so much space and playing off of him. And one of the things that the Kings wanted to do to counter that was have him shoot more threes. And he talked about that the next year, just before last season. He talked about it, but he shot a higher percentage, but he shot actually fewer last year. And you could tell he was reluctant.
A little uncomfortable.
He's still not shooting a lot, but he's getting more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
You can see there's times when he knows, this is going to be a dagger.
Yeah. You know what I think is, this is just my perception. I think right now he's figuring out the space in which he can get it off, meaning get that shot off, right?
Yeah. It is a nice looking shot.
It is.
Too.
It's very square, very like the habits look great.
The backspin rotation is like, yep, that's how you do it.
It looks just like something out of a teacher dummy how to shoot book, right?
Yep.
And so
I have that book.
Do you? Were
Probably.
you teaching or were you
both
reading?
Got it as a dummy and then later use it to teach. Sure.
But I think it's one of those things. If you ever really notice them, if there's someone within about 2 to 3 feet, he won't put it up. He'll pump fake, spin it out, DHO, drop it off to somebody. But if you give him about 5 feet, he's definitely comfortably shooting that shot now. So I think it's real. He's trying to figure out the space that he can get that shot off and be confident in taking the shot.
I mentioned we're going to defend De'Aaron Fox, which somebody did a good job of doing last night, but Kings fans need to do a better job of today. We'll get back to that when we come back to the Kings conversation on Sacktown Sports.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery from the law firm of Gingery, Hammer and Associates. When you have been injured by the fault of another, you will want advice you can trust. If you know an attorney you can trust, I hope you call that person. But if you don't, please call me. I promise I will be the attorney you can trust, along with my entire team. I have been helping accident survivors recover compensation for their injuries for 25 years, and we can help you. There is no charge for calling. If you have an injury, just call Gingery.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411th North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
My good friends over at Jiffy Lube have an amazing New Year oil change special going on right now for the month of January. Get a full synthetic oil change starting at just $76.99 with a $33 off coupon online. That's right, starting at just $76.99 for a full synthetic motor oil change with a $33 off online coupon from jiffylube.com today. Offer valid for up to 5 quarts of premium motor oil, specialty vehicles, and diesel extra. Happy New Year from Jiffy Lube.
Welcome to Staples.
I am so pumped. My business is going to kill it this year.
Awesome. How can I help?
First, a new computer.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you save big on tech.
And new posters.
Save on custom printing, too.
And,
a new chair?
A chair. Who has time to sit?
Maybe all your new clients?
Now you're talking.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you'll find huge savings on custom prints, storage, chairs, and tech. And now save up to $175 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 2/1.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, price lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
California's largest Sportsman's Expo is back Thursday through Sunday at Cal Expo in Sacramento. We've got more tackle. Grab deep discounts on a huge selection of fishing gear, apparel, and accessories at the giant Fisherman's Warehouse booth. This is the place to discover your next adventure, nearby or around the world. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, Thursday through Sunday at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
It's time to turn up the volume on live entertainment. Check out the Sacktown Sports live events calendar for the hottest events and shows coming your way. On February 18th, catch the incredible Miles Kennedy at Ace of Spades. His powerful vocals and raw talent will leave you speechless. Then gear up for an adrenaline-packed night with a Thunder Showdown boxing event at Thunder Valley on March 8th. Who will come out on top in the ring? Be there to find out. On March 9th, don't miss the legendary John Oates live at the Crest Theater, bringing you iconic hits and timeless melodies. If you're a country fan, mark your calendar for March 16th, when Alexandra Kay brings her heartfelt songs to Ace of Spades for an unforgettable evening. And on March 29th, get ready to rock the night away as Papa Roach and Rise Against take over the Golden One Center with an electrifying performance. Don't miss these amazing events. For more information and your chance to win tickets, head to sacktownsports.com. Sacktown Sports, your front row seat to the Sacramento area's best live entertainment.
You can finally follow through with that resolution to get into that Jeep, Ram, Dodge, or Chrysler you've always wanted at Sacramento Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. It's the place where a handshake still means something, getting you the best deals in town with the best customer experience. See for yourself. They're centrally located right next to Hagan Oaks Golf Course.
NBA All-Star voting presented by AT&T is open now.
My favorite time of the year.
And this year, folks, NBA All-Star is back with a brand new twist. 4 teams, single elimination.
I like that, Ernie.
Oh, I'm ready. So make your voice heard and vote for your All-Stars every day. You could even win a trip to watch the game live.
I know my picks will be way better than Chuck's. Stop lying, Shaq.
NBA All-Star voting presented by AT&T is now open. Head to NBA.com/vote and pick your All-Stars today.
Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Boss gags, huh, Jay? Flashback Friday. We have Jerry Reynolds coming up top of the hour. You don't want to miss that. I need your help with something before we get back to the Kings. Today, the Athletics, not Sacramento A's.
Man, you can say it, man.
But they're not. They're not going to.
Entrench yourself in the movement.
No. If they're not going to call themselves that, I'm not going to call them that.
All right.
Anyway,
By the book.
The Athletics today had a patch reveal. And what it is they showed maybe you've seen it, what the Tower Bridge Sacramento patch is going to look like on their sleeve. And I think some A's fans are mad because, that's where Stomper was. So it's like Stomper's off. And then they got the Sacramento, the Tower Bridge. And I think it says Sacramento.
It says Sacramento.
Yeah, it says Sacramento.
Sacramento.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's also a video that goes with it. And have you seen the video yet, Jay?
I did not watch the video.
Okay. This is what if you get a chance, whenever
I'm
you
watch it right now while you're talking.
I think about halfway through the video, and they show some of the players, they show the patch, they show scenes of Sacramento, they show the bridge. And then at one point, there's a real quick shot. It looks like the corner of a building here in Sacramento. I'm not sure which one it is, but they light up the office rooms, and it looks like a green beam.
Oh, wait a minute.
And I'm just wondering, am I seeing things, or are they actually unveiling a form of the green beam that we might see if the A's?
Really?
Yeah. I don't know, but it definitely caught my eye.
Where'd you see this at?
This was on Twitter.
Okay.
And then I retweeted it. Somebody
retweeted, so I'm going to Whitey Gleason.
Yeah, somebody tweeted it to me and said, "Hey, I like the patch." I was like, "Well, it's something."
Here we go.
But, yeah. And then
check this video out.
Yeah. And the A's, kind of like the schedule video they did a really good job of showing parts of Sacramento. But if you watch for it, Jay, about halfway through, you'll see this. Okay. Yeah. It's like an office building.
They got the Capitol kind of like,
mm-hmm.
They got some things lit up for sure. The Capitol.
And they show players.
Bridge. Yeah, I saw, the side of the building, the corner of it.
What? Yeah, you saw it?
Yeah.
Didn't that look like a green beam?
You know where that's at? It's the, let me just triple check one more time. It looks like, and I have no clue what the name of this building is.
You know that
but I know the building. I'm trying to.
He knows all the buildings in Sacramento.
Do you think this is like because I'm looking at the rest of the video, Whitey, right?
Yeah.
And if you go back and look at the way they visualized the Capitol had orange lighting inside the rooms.
Uh-huh.
And then it looked like they showed the K Street, looked like the. No, I'm sorry. That's not K Street. That was, hold on. it was the Esquire Theater, right? So Esquire Theater, and they have that kind of lit up as well.
Yeah.
So do you think it's the graphics of the video?
Maybe.
That will be cold on the side of the building, though. But there's no light on the side of that building.
Yeah. I don't know. All right. So I'm seeing things.
No. It is spot on what you're seeing.
Yeah. So
a side of a building lit up as the green bean.
I don't know. We'll have to ask him. We'll have to find out.
I don't know how you work. Like, how does that happen?
It would have to be a very prominent building.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Maybe not.
And how close or how far, I should say, do you have to be away from the beam? The purple beam.
Yeah. We'll see.
All
see.
right.
I don't know if I want it to be a green beam or not. I'm torn.
You're in between?
Yes.
You ain't want to call the ball club Sacramento.
I want to, but they don't want to. That's the problem. I'm not going to call them that if they're not going to call themselves that.
Okay.
But
they're starting to adapt themselves. Look, why do you look? They're starting to adapt to our area, to the city of trees. They're at the Kings games. We've seen them at local elementary schools over the last couple of weeks.
That's good. That's all well and good.
Now they put the bridge on the patch. Now they even mentioned Sacramento in the video.
They mentioned
2-3 times.
But it's a matter of self-respect. If you're a Sacramento sports fan, you're not going to call yourself Sacramento, but I'm supposed to. And are you going to maybe try to sell me Sacramento A stuff when you're not Sacramento A's? We'll see. This is the early parts of the relationship here.
You can't go 3 years bare minimum. And I'm still a believer say they're not going anywhere, but you can't be a part of a city and don't put some, attributes of that city.
You're right.
Make it a part of your squad.
Yeah. Let's see. Some of the 916 says that's a normal light on a building downtown that's blue. Yes, but in the video, it turns green. It does start as a blue light, but then it turns green. How about some green lights on the Sacramento Bridge? Maybe. I just want to take a moment here. I'm sure we'll talk about it more throughout the show about De'Aaron Fox, because De'Aaron Fox last night closed well, made his free throws, had in the fourth quarter, I have the numbers here, he had a lot of steals in the fourth quarter. At the same time, he didn't have overall the best scoring game. The numbers in the fourth quarter for De'Aaron Fox. He had 3 steals and he had 2 assists, and he was 5 for 5 from the foul line. Now, Amen Thompson's a phenomenal defender. He may already be an elite defender. He did a great job last night defensively, committed, as I heard Ramsey say today on the Alan Stiles show, didn't commit any fouls. So here, for example, is what I'm talking about on the text line. Somebody from the 916 says, Fox can make an impact, but at what risk of almost losing otherwise? If Ellis had played last night, we would have won comfortably. You have to understand one of the reasons De'Aaron Fox did not have a big offensive night last night was because Amen Thompson was guarding him, and Amen Thompson is a phenomenal defender. You can say, well, if you're the best player, you're supposed to score more. Okay. Well, why was Amen Thompson guarding De'Aaron Fox? Because he's their best offensive player. That's why Houston had him guarding De'Aaron Fox.
Did a pretty good job, too.
He did a great job.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. He's one of those guys that you don't like playing against because you play against him and you realize this guy likes playing defense.
Right.
That's not normal.
Lou Dort.
Right.
Thompson. Yeah. Those type of guys. Matisse Thybulle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those Bilal Coulibaly, like guys like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not trying to play those guys too often.
Yeah. So, De'Aaron Fox did not shoot the ball well last night, but he still had a major hand in them winning the game, especially with the free throws down the stretch. So I was afraid people would see that last night and go, yeah, he wasn't that good. They don't really need him. And I just don't think that's an accurate read of how that game actually went down.
No, not at all. I mean, technically, if he wasn't there, that game might have been completely different. Maybe Keon's there. We know De'Aaron was out the last week, so to say, or earlier this week, last week type situation. So, yeah, it definitely would have went probably not according to that plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. And real quick, while I was answering the phone, you were talking about the building. I'm still trying to remember the name of that building, but Sharpie, who just called in, shouts out to Sharpie. That means it's permanent. He said his construction company did the work on some of that, did some work on that building. It's 400 Capital.
Oh,
and I couldn't remember what the name of it, but of course he's talking about the dress, so that's even better.
Yeah.
If you go by there, and I've seen it, that building is lit up. Hence why someone said it's blue. It's, as you see in that video, it's blue on the corner, and then they transition it to green. Well, Sharpie said part of, and we're trusting in our Sacramento people saying that, his company did some of the work that whole building can light up.
Oh,
so they might freak that building. I'm with that.
Yeah.
Because if you really look at it, that's still far enough, but close enough.
Right.
That if the building on Capitol is rocking and rolling, and then at the same time, the beam is lit over here, man, they're parallel pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm
it
with
would be
that.
the same idea, but it wouldn't be a beam. It'd be
It'd be a building. Which you see in other cities, so I like that.
Yeah.
You starting to come around now?
Yeah.
Shouts out to Sharpie for that information.
Thank you, Sharpie. Jerry Reynolds is a Sharpie. He's going to join us when we come back to Sacktown Sports.
WWE Monday Night Raw is live every week on Netflix. Live drama, live heroes, live action, featuring some of the biggest names in WWE, such as John Cena, undisputed WWE champion, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Bianca Belair. There's never been a better time to step into the ring and stream WWE Raw. WWE Monday Night Raw is now on Netflix.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and a scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers game day. Secure your spot at Levi's Stadium for the 2025 season.
20, one block and he's in.
Season tickets are available now. Inventory is limited, so to speak with a representative, call 415-GO-49ers.
Touchdown!
That's 415-GO-49ers.
San Francisco!
Bombas makes the most comfortable socks, underwear, and T-shirts.
Warning, Bombas are so absurdly comfortable you may throw out all your other clothes.
Sorry, do we legally have to say that?
No, this is just how I talk, and I really love my Bombas.
They do feel that good. And they do good, too. One item purchased equals one item donated.
To feel good and do good, go to bombas.com/radio and use code radio for 20% off your first purchase. That's bombas.com/radio and use code radio at checkout.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC now recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With over 500 new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is, live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sacktown Sports 1140.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Though you may not drive.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Quick glance at the standings shows that the Kings here, with a win last night, they're 9th in the West, 13.5 games out of first place. They are half a game out of 8th. They are a game out of 7th. They're a game and a half out of 6th. They're 2.5 out of 5th, and they're 3.5 games out of the 4th spot. Of course, you look the other way, and you got the Warriors and the Suns and the Spurs creeping up behind you, but we don't need to focus on that. We'll focus instead on what our next guest, being an all-time Kings icon, what he thinks of this surge. Of course, he's also concerned with his Chiefs this weekend. One and only Jerry Reynolds. How are you today, Coach? Oh, we got Coach Reynolds joining us now. I apologize. Hello, Jerry. How are you today, sir?
I'm very good. Very good.
Yeah? You worried about your Chiefs at all?
No, not really. It probably should be, but I think they've got about the best draw they can have.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it probably couldn't be any better for them.
Yeah. What a weekend you can have here if you have the Kings winning last night, your Chiefs win, and then if the Kings win on Sunday, which they should, that's perfect weekend for you.
It just can't get any better. That game last night, that was playoff basketball. That was really great. And, just got to love what Coach Christie and the Doug are doing, boy, because they're playing at a pretty darn high level.
Did you call them the Dougateers? Is that, yeah?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
All right. Good. We'll see. We'll see if we can help that take root. Does it just warm the heart of a former coach to see a team go 13 for 13 from the foul line in the fourth quarter, Jerry?
It sure does, especially a team that, in past years has struggled in those particular areas. This year's, it has been better, and certainly down the stretch of games has been pretty good most of the time. So, there's just a lot of things to like about this team right now. They're so much fun to watch. I don't know just if Coach Christie can, have them go unbeaten the rest of the year, but he's sure getting a lot of mileage out of the young lads.
Legend, how many, I've seen this, and of course, numerous. So you even saw it last night on TNT. Pretty sure you saw this Chuck and Shaq and Kenny talking about it, where they're like, a new flux, a new coach is in, you get a little flux of, entertainment, you get a little more shot adrenaline in the arm, but we'll see in another 2 or 3 weeks. In your experience, does it wear off at a certain point in time, or do you see this as being kind of genuine?
Well, I think it does wear off, but it's also true. I think this is genuine. I think Doug is really prepared for this. I think he has developed a good relationship with all the players, by being on the bench with them for the last couple of years. And so, it's always a case too, where he saw, I think, some of the really good things that Coach Brown was doing, and maybe some things that he didn't agree with, which is, and he's got an opportunity to kind of do the things he likes in addition to what he liked from Coach Brown. And I think there'll be a carryover. I really will be surprised if this team doesn't continue to, I'm not saying they're going to be 8-2, 8 out of 10 the rest of the year, but I think we're going to see a continued better performance. I think Coach Christie is ready for this opportunity.
So, Jerry, if you were the GM right now, if I may ask you, at what point would you go to ownership and say, I think it's time to take the interim tag off this guy?
I'd say pretty close.
Yeah.
I'd be eyeballing it.
Really?
I don't think you want to. I'd wait a while, much as I love and respect Doug, but they made a mistake probably in kind of getting out ahead of themselves, skis on the Coach Brown thing when they didn't really have to. And so you can't afford to make a mistake. Not that signing him long term would be one. I don't think it would, but I would certainly say, and I think Coach Christie would understand that. Let's give this another 20 games or so, and then maybe readdress it.
Yeah, because if you take emotion out of it, and as fans we get emotional, there's no benefit to the team to do that sooner rather than later, right? I mean, there's no advantage really if you say, all right, we're gonna take the interim tag off right now. It behooves you as an organization to be patient on that, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it's especially under the circumstances they're currently in. I mean, obviously, how many coaches do you want to be obligated to? But I think I just think it makes sense to get as much information as possible and see if this team is still making, playing well and playing together, and the growth is there, and you have a reason to be optimistic, not just for this year, but going forward. So, and I don't think you could honestly say all that right now, even though I just did, but you really shouldn't be able to.
Joined by the legendary Jerry Reynolds to do it all for the Sacramento Kings organization and Monarchs, of course. Legend, one of the things that's touched me about the Kings over the last 10 games, and I'll just say 8-2 since Doug has taken over, the attitude in which they're playing. I've been kind of one of the detractors of with the Kings of, I think you have to pull the attitude out of the Kings versus, sometimes you can start a fight. I think they need to, the fight has to be brought to them. Have you seen any difference in the attitude as far as, being a little more gritty, a little more tougher, not just, they're playing better under Doug, but have you seen a change in attitude?
I think so. I think they're taking on some of his personality, and I think as a coach, that's what you would like to see happen, especially for a coach like Doug, who that's the way he played. He brought it every night, and that's what we're starting to see with this team. And of course, I like a lot of the things he's doing defensively, scheme wise. I thought we saw more zone last night. I think it's getting to be a better zone, and so. A lot of positives, but I think the bottom line is, Doug Christie was a tough-minded, focused, prepared player, and I think a lot of that is carrying over to his team.
Mm-hmm. How much do you appreciate, Jerry, the fact that Doug is emphasizing to his players, you don't need to get into it with the officials. That doesn't help you. You need to focus on playing the game better.
Oh, that is so good. I mean, I wish every coach would kind of do that. It's like I've said many times, you guys know that I haven't spotted any coaches changing calls because the players whining all the time. So it just makes it worse. So I was told guys too, and I said, I'm very capable of making a fool of myself. You don't need to.
I think the whole league should look at that. I think the league would be better if the league emphasized that, Jerry.
Oh, I do too. I think it's a mistake they don't. They've kind of encouraged the officials have to listen to the players. Why? Mm-hmm. They made the call. Whether you like it or not, it's made. It's not going to be changed unless you have a challenge. Mm-hmm. But there are not many of those. So yeah, it'd just be for a better game. Let the coaches. They're paid money, and they can act like an idiot or bitch and moan if they want to. But you don't need it on every call by the players.
Right. He's right.
That's true. I'm with you, Legend. One of the things that I've noticed, and we've talked about it here. I know you chime into the show when you can, and when you're not up and down the freeways and flying the skies like you normally do. But one of the things we've talked about is DeMar and De'Aaron, and of course Malik playing at the end of the game and who gets the ball, how it's dispersed. Have you seen any change from the beginning of the season? And I guess I would probably say since Coach Mike Brown was there versus Doug there, do you see a different version of how they're closing out games?
Well, it does seem like that it's a little more of kind of who's got it going. I mean, they seem to be more comfortable with that. Certainly with DeRozan. I mean, obviously he's been so good of late, and seems like he's been a more part of the scheme as opposed to last night. For instance, I thought De'Aaron was defended very well, and so he didn't really have as many opportunities. And Malik on the point. Really is controlling the ball a little more. So it just seems to be working better. I mean, I don't know. What you don't know is if all the guys will be happy with the arrangements as it goes. I think that's the only concern I would have is I think the players themselves, I think, are buying in beautifully. But I know just in the real world, agents have a tendency to muck things up when they can.
Yeah. Hey, Jerry, I wanted to ask you about Amen Thompson, the job he did on De'Aaron Fox. Because the Kings played so well when De'Aaron was out, there are some fans who, Fox wants out, just trade him, which I think is a bad idea. To me, as you said, De'Aaron Fox didn't have a great game last night. That's because he was guarded by Houston's best defender. And the reason why he was guarded by Houston's best defender is because he's the Kings' best offensive player. And that's what I think people keep forgetting.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Obviously, he's the guy they scheme for. I mean, really, but he and Domas, that's who teams kind of scheme for different reasons, of course. Domas, because of what he does for his teammates as much as anything. But, Thompson is just a marvelous young talent. I mean, I was just thinking, man, somewhere the Kings had Thompson, they'd be talking a real serious contender.
Yes.
But anyway, he made it tough on De'Aaron, and that made it easier on other guys because there's, Dylan Brooks may think he's the same level defender, but he's not. No. And DeRozan kind of punished him a little bit, which always brings joy to me. But yeah, I mean, De'Aaron's a marvelous talent, and he's, people got to remember he's still a big time asset, and the old trade stuff. Well, everybody's tradable. I remember when Oscar Robertson got traded from Cincinnati. Well, or Jabbar got traded from Milwaukee, so everybody's tradable, but. You don't trade your best players and most talented players for, a couple of second-round picks and Joe Faduzzel, although that's exactly what Cincinnati did when they traded Oscar.
I was going to ask, is Joe Faduzzel a real person?
Well, actually, pretty close. I mean, Cincinnati Royals, get this, they traded Oscar, one of the probably half a dozen greatest to ever do it, for Glenn Robinson and Charlie Polk. I tell you what, that they decided that Oscar couldn't lead them to the championship through Russell, the 50, so they turned a 50-some win team into a 30-win team. I said, well, that's a good move.
Yeah. Well, thank goodness the Kings organization hasn't done anything like that since, Jerry.
No, well, first you have to have an all-time great to do it.
That's right. That's right.
You might keep that in mind.
Hey, before we let you go, we've talked about this guy before. There was a story yesterday. Let's just assume it's true. Don't know for sure, but Kings have talked with Utah about John Collins. Just want to make sure. You in general approve of discussing John Collins with the Jazz, right? You think that's solid for the Kings?
I approve of getting John Collins.
Uh-huh.
I think he'd be a terrific fit on this team, and I've said this before. I mean, I remember when he came to the league, he played a lot of center for the Hawks and was pretty good at it. Now, since then, he's developed a good three-point shot. So my point being, not only would he fit with Domas, but he'd fit behind Domas. I think he'd be an outstanding get for this team. So, I know Draper has pointed that out over the period, and I know you have too. I mean, but I really like him. I mean, I think for this team, I'm not sure they could get anybody that would be a better fit.
Do you think we could get him for Faduzzel? You think they'd
I think Faduzzel and 12 first-round picks will get him.
Real quick, Legend, Whitey lied. I got one more. You're talking about John Collins, and I just want your opinion and experience. Does this team, from your eye, need a backup big, or would you be comfortable bringing in someone of a starting caliber? And John Collins is probably as close, but let's just say Cam Johnson. I just don't see Cam Johnson coming off the bench. So let's just say he starts. Where would you go two of the starting five and say, okay, sir, we need you to have a seat?
Yeah, it's one of those things. If you did get a Cam Johnson, I think honestly it'd be a tough call, but I think DeRozan would be the guy to bring off the bench, as a big time scorer. You're gonna finish the game with him, but and at his age, no disrespect, but I think it, and he's a pro's pro. I think he could handle that. Right now it'd be tough to tell Malik Monk he can't be starter again after what he's been through, and he's been terrific. So now you might do it the other way and have Keegan come off, but I think if you really still need that power, more of the length and rebounding that Keegan provides. So that'd be a tough call.
I was going to say, Legend, how do you have that conversation with another legend, a Hall of Famer? Like DeMar DeRozan is certified Hall of Famer at this point.
Yeah,
how do you go to him and say, we need you to sit down, sir?
Well, I think that's exactly what you do. It's like, DeMar, this is our situation. What do you think? We've thought about, this might be the way to make us a better team. What do you think? Would it be something you could do or would do, or you think could work and make the team better? And if it was a real problem, you'd probably figure out something else. But you look back through the years, Andre Iguodala is a great example of a guy who'd been an all-star many times. And last time I checked, he had a lot of success, and the Warriors did. Him coming off the bench, through the history of the league. So, I think that is, if you're really trying to get better, everybody has to be willing to sacrifice something.
Jared, the example you gave of Iguodala, that actually went a long ways towards cementing their, so-called culture, because the rest of the team looked and said, man, that's Andre Iguodala. He's coming off the bench for the good of the team. So what do the rest of us have to complain about? It really set a tone. And I think Malik doing that the last few years had a similar effect on the rest of the Kings. You see how good that guy is, and he's willing to do it. That really keeps everybody in line when they realize that we got good players making sacrifices for the good of the team.
Yeah, a bench player, you look back through the history of the league, whether it's been a John Havlicek or Kevin McHale, spent several years as a sixth man. Now they weren't and some of the great players at the end of their career were coming off the bench, had been longtime starters. We've seen that. Like I say, it'd be ticklish. One thing about it is DeMar doesn't deserve to not start.
Right.
Do you go to?
I didn't mean to cut you off, but before you finish that, do you go to DeMar now and say, "Hey, DeMar, we're in the market for a high caliber starting type player, probably a big man," or do you wait till that move is you can flip the switch?
I don't think it'd be the best interest to go to him until you really need to, because like you say, if you get John Collins, it probably doesn't impact him the same way as a Cam Johnson. And so I think you broach that if need to be broached. And it's one of those things that may take care of itself. But anyway, it's a good question to ask, because at some point you want to start five.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, doggone it. Yeah. All right, Jerry.
Doggone it. Yeah. So I don't know if I solved any problems there, but I'll tell you what, that'd be a good problem to have.
Yes. Thank you, Coach.
No disrespect to DeMar or anybody else, but that's a good problem to have, and the Kings really need that problem.
We appreciate it and hope you enjoy the weekend of football, especially your Chiefs game, Jerry. We'll talk to you soon.
I am looking forward to the Chiefs game, fellas, and too bad the Eagles might not make it to the Super Bowl, but that's another story for you guys.
For another day. Yes. Thank you, Jerry.
Another day. Okay. See you guys.
The one and only Jerry Reynolds. You want to keep it here for a few minutes, Jay?
Please.
Yeah. You were asking him about how the Kings are playing differently down the stretch and they seem more organized.
Mhm.
And somebody, and I think it was actually Brendan Nunes, asked Malik about that last night.
Yeah.
And Malik said, we're not second guessing ourselves.
Right.
We know exactly what we want to do and we get to it. We're confident in whoever has the ball. You know, it's like what Jerry said. You know, they recognize who's hot and that's who's getting the ball in those situations.
But it's interesting. That's why I asked the legend, is because, you know, he's seen more games than I'll ever probably see in my life and been a part of basketball longer than I probably will ever be as well. It's interesting because he even goes back to Oscar Robertson, you know, certain trades. To me, I think they're playing the same, meaning scheme-wise, but I do believe they're playing a lot more free, you know, where it's like, and we've all been there, you know, you don't want to mess up. You mess up, you look over your shoulder, you know, to whoever, your superior, your parents, you know, whatever situation you're in, you don't want to mess up. So you're like, dang, you know, maybe even it's just disappointing. I know my daughter is a lot of times, even when she messes up, she always asks, Dad, are you disappointed in me? You know, I'm like, nah, we're good. Let's keep it rocking, you know? But I think the schemes, the X's and O's are pretty close to what the same is. Now, not play wise, but as far as I think De'Aaron plays off the ball a little more at the end. DeMar seems to handle it a little more at the end. And now they've influxed Malik a little more where it's like, 10 seconds. Okay, DeMar, pass that hot potato and get it to Malik and let him, you know, move and groove. Where I think some of the league, and you talked about it, where you see Thompson, you see Lou Dort, you starting to see some of these guys press up on De'Aaron and double even, you know, run two at De'Aaron. So somebody else has got to pick up the, you know, the pieces.
By the way, that's the hammer as a parent. And I'm thinking of it more from the child standpoint.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing if your parents are mad at you. It's like, of course they're mad at me.
Of course.
I wanted them to get
Parents,
mad at me.
right, yeah.
But when your parents give you, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. That's like,
oh yeah.
Right? That's the worst.
That's the one. Yeah, that's what exactly. Man. That's the one. Like my daughter, I think I've only told her that once or twice where it's just super serious. I'm like, you know what? For everything we blase, I'm not even gonna go down. I'm disappointed. Yeah. And you could see the whole face just crinkle up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like you let me down.
Yeah.
Oh,
we're depending on you, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough, man.
You know, here's another example of why we all love Malik Monk. There's a lot of questions now after the games. Maybe you've seen some of the press conferences. I know they have them on TV. There's lots of questions about how much fun is it now? Is it more fun doing it this way? Which, of course, it is. It's more fun for fans.
Real quick, Whitey, before you say that, I'm going to cut you off.
Yeah.
Can we stop asking them same questions?
I'd be okay with that.
Okay, thank you. I just want all Sacramento media, Sacramento Kings beat reporters, people who like, we don't have to continue to ask that same question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So he was asked about, you know, how much fun is it? He said, it's contagious. And then here's the part I love. He said, I'm always going to have fun playing basketball, but especially now, he says, but that's so true of him, right? You see that? He goes, I'm always going to have fun.
I'm always hooping.
Yeah.
Everybody was showing the clip where he was wide open right next to the Kings bench and he had his hands up and he kind of, you know, stomped away when he didn't get the rock, but it was playful. And then as soon as DeMar hit the N1, you see him over there, you know, give me the N1 sign. And so Malik is one of them guys. You could probably take Malik to playground. You could take him to Lifetime Fitness with Drapes.
Yeah.
You could take him to the NBA. You could take him to Rucker Park. Anywhere he gonna get down. Summer league, church league, rec league. You know, he gonna make it happen.
And it's interesting because that's not true of all pro athletes. You know, there's some great players in different sports. You can see like he does it really well, but he doesn't really like it.
Yeah.
And Malik's just having such a good time.
You know, I learned that I was in college, and I'm not gonna say this player's name, playing baseball, and one of my friends was his first cousin, blood cousin, and so we go out, we're playing around, you know, we're rocking. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm playing with a professional ball player at the time, one of the best at that time, and he told me something, and I never forget. Like, he was on a decent contract, but he was definitely trying to get the next big deal, and he was up next, right? And he's like, man, I only play about 50%. I'm like, huh? He's like, till I get my mega deal, I'm playing about 50%. I said, you're putting up these numbers playing 50%? He's like, yeah. And I said, man, what are you going to do when you play 100%? I'll never play 100%. You know, I don't care about it that much. So I'm, you know, as someone who grew up playing baseball and loving it, I couldn't believe it, especially how good this guy was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? He's like, 75%. That's it. That's all you're getting from me. This is a business, man.
I think that's the number one thing organizations have to take into account before they sign anybody to a long-term deal, because there are people, and you can't blame them, but they're good at, say, pro basketball.
Mm-hmm.
They're good at, they don't really like it that much. They do it. They love the lifestyle more than they do the game. And that's good for them. But you hitch your wagon to a guy like that long-term, you're asking for trouble.
And I'll say this, without saying who he is, both of the things you just said are true.
Really? Yeah.
The lifestyle, he continues to live the lifestyle. And beyond that, he had tons of health issues because, and I said, dude, something's not going to go right for you, but get your bag, get your change, get your money, but hopefully everything is all right. And then as soon as he got it, injury after injury after injury after injury after injury. And I remember running into him and he was like, man, I should have played 100% all my life.
Really?
My body wasn't conditioned to play 100% anymore. But he got the money.
Yep. Got the bag. When we come back, how Doug Christie has brought back the Kings home court advantage. We've seen it. How's it happening? Next, Sacktown Sports.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. You know, I'm a huge fan of their SUVs and sedans, but they also have a huge Vans fleet center. Listen up, business owners. Now is the perfect time to take advantage of tax deductions. They have the perfect van to power your fleet, including the new fully electric e-Sprinter alongside their very reliable diesel options. And even if you aren't a business owner, let's say you just want one for personal reasons. Maybe you want to go out on the town with the fellas or with the ladies, or maybe you want to take the kids on a road trip. Well, their vans are fully customizable. So check out Mercedes-Benz of Stockton right now. You can choose from their dependable diesel models or even go all electric with the new e-Sprinter. So head on down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton right now and check out their fleet center. Or, of course, you can go online at mbfstockton.com. That's mbfstockton.com.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave coming to you from my good friends at American Energy. Look, it's already cold outside. It's only going to get colder. American Energy wants to help you stay warm and make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of the $49 tune-up inspection. Normally $119, $49 right now, and that includes a full safety and duct inspection. And check it out. If your system's over 10 years old, and I'll bet it is, the tune-up, it's free. It's free from a company that's been in business since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ Better Business Bureau. Check their Yelp, check their Google reviews. Don't take my word for it. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. If you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Check them out at theaeway.com and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's finally Friday. In the afternoon, expect to have temperatures down slightly today with light winds. Highs will peak in the lower 60s. Plan for overnight lows back to the 30s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Happy New Year! Coach Christie here letting you know it's never been easier to drive into the new year in a new Kia. Take advantage of special low finance rates and zero down deals with approved credit right now at Folsom Lake Kia.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun.
They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
The new year is upon us with promises of new beginnings and new adventures, but don't let 2024 slip away without savoring the memories made with family and friends. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Looking forward is always exciting, but I have a lot to appreciate in this past year, revolving around time with family and more good time spent around my Naturewood dining table. Watching my grandson with his first bite of birthday cake was priceless and reminds me that new life is the perfect balance between yesterday and today. Greet the new year with a visit to Naturewood Home Furnishings during their annual New Year's sale going on now, including all the fine furniture and accessories in every department. How about a new style for the new year? Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with future memories for tomorrow. The memories you make with your family will stay with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Coach Doug Christie on how the Kings have brought home court advantage back to the Gold One Center. We'll get to that in just a moment. First, thank you, Jay. Jay sent me this. Maybe you've seen this. This is the Kings uniform record so far this year in the association uniforms, which is the white Kings and script. They're 8-5 with 14 games remaining. The icon jersey, which is black. I love those jerseys. They're 7-6 with 14 games remaining. Statement jersey, which is kind of the black one half, and then purple in the other blend. They're 4-2 with 5 games remaining. The city jersey, which is the kind of the Cincinnati Royals throwback. The Royale jerseys, they're 2-2 with 5 games remaining. And then the classic, which is the purple jerseys. Remember they announced that they're going to wear these during the preseason or before the preseason. People were just doing backflips. 0-5.
0 fever.
Winless. With 3 games remaining.
Know why? Because they haven't come out with the Coach Doug Christie version yet.
There you go.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Can't have him and Bibby promote it, and then you wait till the middle of the season to drop their jersey.
Yeah.
And not, I know what people are going to say, oh, you could go get the jersey and put the name on it. It's not the same. It's not the same.
It's not. Is there any way under the sun the Kings ever bring back the gold jerseys?
I'll say yeah. I think comes around. It'll come around.
I'm not mad, Jay. I'm just disappointed. I don't care for that. I thought we were going to be on the same page there. I mean, everything comes back around at some point, right? It's like the San Diego Padres had those brown and gold. They got rid of them because everyone said, those are so ugly. And then 15 years later, whatever, 20 years later, people said, oh, you got to bring back those mustard and brown. They're so great. By the way, bad news for the Padres today. Bad news for baseball. Yeah. Roki Sasaki's going to the freaking Dodgers.
Who would have knew? Pretty sure that we all knew that.
I dared to hope it wouldn't be true.
I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I damn sure understand.
Yeah. I did get a little suspicious when it came down to the Dodgers, the Padres, and the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Well, he ain't going to the Blue Jays.
Nah, I ain't going to the Blue Jays. Definitely. I could have seen him coming to the Padres. But then once you see the Dodgers up there, it's like, okay, that's a pipeline.
Right.
Straight. He's going straight to the Dodgers.
Right. Supposedly, Yu Darvish is like his mentor. So it's like, oh, maybe there's a chance.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, right.
Not to be. So Roki Sasaki joining the Los Angeles Dodgers. Baseball season it's already over, right, Jay? The Dodgers are in the World Series. Dodgers won the pennant.
It's close. It's becoming a riches of wealth for the rich. And the Dodgers are 1%ers. That's what they are.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly. I just thought about it. The Dodgers are the 1%ers. Them, Yankees, Mets, even though the Mets don't win, 1%ers. Boston, Chicago, Cubs, not White Sox. 1%ers, man.
Mm-hmm. Good for them, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah, Red Sox probably in that too, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But as far as the Kings and the gold jerseys, I guess eventually it could come back, Jay. I just don't think people liked them. I don't think anybody ever liked them, and I don't think people would like them if they came back.
Yeah, but you know how it is, man. I mean, give it another 5, 7, 10 years. Let the Kings get a couple of championships and watch how everything becomes resellable. It's just retro that.
Yeah. I just remembered, I don't think I've ever talked to him about this, but they had Jerry go out there and on the floor and say, you fans are the gold standards and you're the inspirations for these jerseys. And they were not good. And Jerry had nothing to do with that.
Right.
Yeah, but he's the one that had to go out and go, yeah, you're the gold standard, so here you go.
Called a job, man. It's called a job. That check kept cashing for the legendary Jerry Reynolds. You know what? I don't really want to go out here, but I'm going to stand on that for you. No problem.
Yeah, all right, if that's what you want me to do. But like I said, I've never actually talked to him about it. Last night, Doug Christie did talk about home court advantage. Since he's come back, it appears the Kings are playing with more grit at home, and Doug Christie talked about the importance of that last night.
Arco Arena had its own, there was wood and metal and concrete, and when you start bouncing all that together, it makes strange sounds. And this building is beginning to define itself. Golden One Center is part of my message to them is like, nobody comes in your house messing with your stuff. You must protect your house. And to watch the way that they continuously fight possession after possession after possession. And I know from being somebody who played in front of these people that they truly, truly appreciate when you open your coat and you say, this is me, baby. I'm here and this is what I'm going to do. So for me, that's like a super huge thing. Is like when you come to SAC, we're getting down. And I love what the guys are bringing.
That's like the greatest statement any Kings coach has ever made. Am I right?
Yeah.
Talk about Arco Arena was made of the steel and the concrete and the wood. Kings fans are like, oh, thank you. Yes, you're one of us.
Yeah, well, he is.
I know.
And the one thing about Coach Christie is he dove into the book of Sugar Free for many years, rapper. Mm-hmm. And so, he's always got the slick tongue with certain things. So it is, I've seen a lot of people take heed in what he's talking about when it comes to being one of us. And to be completely honest, you got to be one of us to be one of us to make sense, right? And so it is refreshing to see a coach actually dive into, the culture of the squad. And I think it kind of goes back to what we were just talking about. Sometimes people see these things as a job. Mm-hmm. It really is a job, and it is a job. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But I'll say this, in talking to athletes, when you talk to, you have the opportunity to talk to people like Jerry Reynolds, you talk to Coach Doug Christie, you hear some of these guys, it takes more than just treating a game like a job to go win a championship. You got to put yourself a little more deeper into what's really going on to succeed at the highest level. So I think that's where Doug is coming from.
And we know that there are very accomplished coaches in the NBA who didn't play. Mike Brown was very accomplished. Taylor Jenkins doing a great job. But when you got a guy who played like Doug did, who played the way he played, telling players, don't let anybody come in your house and take your stuff, it resonates a little more, right? It's one thing for somebody to say, a coach, oh, you got to defend home floor. We know that Kings coaches emphasize that because we've talked to them about that. But when Doug says it, it's more on a personal level, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because he's done it.
Yeah.
I said he's living it. He's breathed it.
He's talking to your gut.
Yeah.
Coach can talk to your brain. Don't let this happen. But he's like, you don't understand. Your manhood is being challenged. Right. Mine was. Right. Now yours is being challenged. Seriously. So what are you going to do about it?
Right. And sometimes it's that real, though.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll say this. I think if we had, and this is, you can disagree with it, 916-339-1140. These are discussions I've had with Coach Doug Christie is, too many times players and coaches don't feel that way. And to me, as a competitor, I'll be honest, White, I'm Draymond. I'm preying on those people who don't feel that way. I feel like I got a one-up on you. Right? Because you're not all in like I'm all in.
It's a weakness.
It's a weakness. Absolutely. And so if I smell that, I'm a shark in the blood. I'm a shark looking for the blood in the water. So
smell it.
I can smell it.
I smell the weakness.
Right.
You don't want to win.
I
really want to win.
I do.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. And so I think that's one of the great things about having a former player who is hungry, who is entrenched in the community, who is legendary around here in Sacramento. And as we continue to keep on hearing, it felt, his urge, his thirst for winning for the Kings has never left. So to bring that with you, put that in the backpack 20 years ago, and now to continue to bring it now, man, I could only imagine how thirsty he is.
It's incredible what the Kings are doing right now. Let's hope they can keep it going. Now, a unique challenge. Now Sunday, all of a sudden, you got to worry about, are they going to be able to get up for that game?
They smoking them, man. Look, we got to think better.
So.
Yeah, they about to blow the roof off. MLK next day, 3-day weekend,
Yeah, all I'm saying is, Jay, last year that was a real concern, right?
Yes, it was.
They should win, but I don't know.
Not this time.
I don't think we have to worry about that.
No, Malik gonna go for a soft 30 man. 30 man. Guaranteed. Them boys ain't playing right now.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. When we come back, guess who's back tonight from his 7-game suspension? Next on Sacktown Sports.
This year, resolve to save on the all-new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy with $8,000 off MSRP after rebates on over 30 new half-ton Silverado LT and RST after rebates. And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area. $8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. Must own 2011 or newer Chevrolet.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Golden One Center January 24th through 26th. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Tickets on sale now at monsterjam.com.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531. Elk Grove Honda reports that Honda has earned 3 coveted 2025 Car and Driver 10 Best Awards for the 3rd year in a row, honoring the Honda Civic, Honda Accord, and Honda CR-V. Honda Accord wins for a record 39th time. You can see and drive all the new 2025 award-winning models at Elk Grove Honda and see why Honda cars and trucks continue to impress the critics. We are Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Something amazing is happening in education. Students are inspired and engaged. That's because school districts consulted with CDW, who designed modern classroom solutions with pre-configured HP devices, making learning more accessible, secure, and immersive. Now, when students study topics like elephants, it feels like elephants are there with them. HP and CDW make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/HPPSG.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's great.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? It seems impossible to find them. Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you do. Because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done is a job well done, well under budget. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
The Drive Guys, live and local. Every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sacktown Sports.
Before we get any further, if I may, a quick personal note. I know a couple days ago I talked about one of my brothers got an unfortunate medical diagnosis, and I appreciate there was a lot of support on the text line, on Twitter. Just talked to him yesterday, and he had one treatment, and his white blood cell count was back to normal after one treatment. So
beautiful.
So
man.
I just, it's like, what? Who cares? But just for those who were so nice.
We care. What do you mean?
I appreciate it. So
who cares?
It buckled me. I don't know. It just really buckled me.
absolutely.
And so, anyways, good news. So, thank you for all the.
That's great to
support.
hear, man.
Yeah,
That's
thank
beautiful.
you. Thank you.
Shouts out to the brother.
Mhm.
And if you ever need any uplifting, please give me a call.
I will do that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. You know who might need
For
some
a
uplifting
precision crafted
is you might want to call Jimmy Butler, Jay, or Miami Heat fans. I don't know, or Eric Spoelstra or Pat Riley. I'm not sure. It's kind of a mess. Jimmy Butler is back. His 7-game suspension is over. Not listed on the injury report before the Heat game against the Nuggets tonight. So it looks like Jimmy Butler is in the starting lineup. I believe Eric Spoelstra has just acknowledged that. And a lot of people are wondering now what's going to happen. If you remember, we had Jason Jackson on from the Heat a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And I asked him, well, he can't come back, right? If they don't trade him, can he come back? And he was kind of, evasive, but he said, hey, anything can happen. But clearly in his mind, there's no way Jimmy can come back to this team. One source told ESPN, we don't want him back. Another source said, I don't know how he can come back to this locker room. So people, I think, with the Heat are worried about what exactly he will do as he continues to this stare down, this test of wills with Pat Riley and the Heat. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what happens next, but it's a mess.
It is. One thing about Jimmy is he moves to the beat of his own drum, right?
Mm-hmm. There was a game here. Some people will remember at Arco, Jimmy Butler, and it was towards the end of his time with Minnesota, and he wanted to move on and eventually to get traded to the Heat. And it was a close game, and he missed 2 free throws.
They go from Minnesota to Philly?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And some people say, oh, he missed those free throws on purpose. I don't know.
Were you at the game?
No, I was watching on television.
Okay.
Yeah. So whether it's true or not, it shows that people just aren't sure what he's going to do.
Yeah, he's a person I definitely wouldn't, as the Miami Heat, and I get what Double J is saying, Heat culture, and I believe it because he's there, he lives it, he breathes it. But Jimmy is a one of a kind type of cat, man, and I wouldn't want to test him and see the results of that because he could tear down everything.
Yeah.
He really could.
He would probably relish that in a way.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but he's just very strong-willed.
Yeah, he is. And I mean, it's fueled him to get to where he is, even is today as a ball player.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there was a report today that he would like to go to Phoenix if he's, let's see. Is this from a source? A source close to Butler told ESPN, if they're doing this transition to Bam and Tyler, Jimmy's like, fine, do your transition. If he's going to be the second or third wheel, he'll be that in Phoenix to Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. So Jimmy's like, if I'm going to be the third wheel, I want to go to Phoenix. I don't want to be the third wheel to Bam and Tyler Hero. Phoenix now, according to another report, is willing to trade. I think it's the one first-round pick they could trade, which 31? They wouldn't have anything. Yeah. They would have no
2031.
Yeah.
Dang.
And with what he makes, it's really difficult for them. But as they continue, the Suns continue to double down on aging expensive veterans.
Trying to win it all right now.
Yeah.
I mean, if nothing else, you got to show them some love in the fact that they are trying to win. They've went out and got Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, and all these different pieces. They just haven't matched, of course. It's like polka dot versus green. They're not coming together. We've talked about distressed options, and you already know where I'm going here. But let me break it down even a little less than and I know it's somewhat hypothetical. So if you want to be like, Jay, that's never going to happen. I get it. But
it's Friday. We're having fun.
Yeah.
No worries.
He's tearing down his own value. Would you agree with that, Jimmy? And he may be doing it on purpose.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that he is only in this sense. I think most teams know right away with him and everything involved, either we're in or we're out. And most teams are like, yeah, we're out. And Phoenix wants him no matter what he does.
Right.
So I think it's just like a niche market right now for Jimmy Butler. So that's why I say normally, yes, clearly he's driving down his value. But to me, a team either wants him or they don't. And if they want him, then I don't think they're going to be put off by this, even if they should be.
But we've also heard, from Jason Jackson about he coach or Pat Riley. No one's going to one up Pat. No one. He's the mob father. No one can outduel Pat Riley. So let's just say if Pat's like, you know what, man, I'm done with it. I'm out. Mickey Harris and everybody. We're moving on. Give me anything. Just give me anything. Anything you want. With that being said, if it costs you only one first rounder and you got to throw in, and I hate saying names, but let's just say you got to do a Herder and a Trey Lyles and one first rounder. And mathematically, I know it doesn't fit, but I'm saying if you could figure it out, bring a third. Yeah, you bring a third team in and you spin the wheel, fourth team. As we've heard today, Toronto is in the market. They got Bruce Brown making $22 million a year, whatever. There's some teams that are willing to help, facilitate money-wise. If you could get them for one first rounder and you know you're probably going to have them for the rest of this season and probably spend them in the off season, would you try it?
The Kings?
Yes.
Or I'm just anybody?
Kings.
I wouldn't, just because, as we've been talking about the last 2 weeks, the chemistry has been so rock solid. It seems like it's even getting better. Jimmy Butler comes in. Could he make that better? He might, but there's just as good a chance, if not a better chance, that it's disrupted because he needs the ball more or somebody else have to adjust. I wouldn't. I'd understand the argument from those who would, but I disagree with it vehemently. Would you?
I probably wouldn't, just what you said, but I'd be remiss if I didn't pick up the phone as a general manager, do my due diligence.
5 weeks ago, I might have been, oh, yes, we got to look at this.
Yeah. But now that you see the team kind of operating and moving and grooving, you kind of picking and choosing.
Yeah. I see what this team needs, and he's not it.
You're right.
Yeah. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Let's sneak one in here. Trey's been on hold a long time. Hey, Trey, thanks for hanging. What's up?
It's all good. It's all good, man. Hey, Happy New Year to y'all, man. Happy New Year, Whitey, Jay, Drapes. I know you ain't there, but just wanted to say that, fellas.
Appreciate it.
Yep. And prayers out to your brother, too, Whitey.
Appreciate that. Yes. What's on your mind?
It's all good. So I just want to a couple of comments that Barkley made last night, when he did the 8-on-5 comment. And I'm just like, nobody gives a damn when we don't have the players, our starting five, or we missing players, and we go out there and win. So, he can miss me with that.
I agree with
you. You feel me? We treat anybody that come our way. I don't care what team they assemble. We treat them like Debo. Beat them down, beat you down. You feel me? And the second thing is the other comment that he made about Mike Brown. Now, right when the game was over, he literally glossed over what we accomplished, how we've been playing like the last couple weeks. Why not try to boost Doug up? Why not try to talk about the play of how our defense has been playing? Instead, he throw out stuff like, "Oh, the defense is terrible," and what they did to Mike Brown. Who cares? Look.
You're right.
I'm not even tripping off Mike Brown no more. We moved on. Okay, so let it go.
Yep.
The last thing I was gonna say is that I just want y'all opinion on this. Since we've been winning, we've been playing really well as of late. I think this has done something like this. Has afforded us this luxury of maybe we don't need to go out and get a big name, but maybe we can make. I definitely think we need to improve our roster. We can make an around the edges move and try to improve that way instead of spending going out on a Cam Johnson or somebody missed a lot of games. I really like John Collins, but I just want to know what y'all think now. Like, should we go for a big name, or is it okay if the way we playing right now, the way that it was envisioned at the beginning of the season, should we just move forward with around the edges move, a couple of players to make the bench better, man? Hey, man, love y'all. I'm out. I'm a die king, man. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, thanks, Trey. We'll address that when we come right back. Before we do, though, this is actually from the Houston Chronicle by way of the NBA, and this came out a couple hours ago. For all the complaints from the Rockets and Charles Barkley, 2-minute report says the NBA says those calls were on the money. Despite Rockets' complaints, NBA says refs did not mess up in loss to Kings. So the official 2-minute report says, no, those were good calls.
Yeah.
Sorry, Charles Barkley.
And I saw 2 or 3 other ones that didn't get called.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I go back to the Domas. I understand hand is part of the ball, but he slapped him across his wrist. I mean, not even his wrist, his forearm.
Yep. So we'll answer Trey's questions when we come back. Also, look at how this game against the Wizards is, in a way, a new test for the Kings, for Doug Christie's Kings anyway, next on Sacktown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now. For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Preventing you from enjoying life's big moments? Try Vicks Sinex Saline today and get yourself back in the action. Vicks Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion with a gentle ultrafine mist. Sinex Saline's drug-free, no-mess formula instantly moisturizes and soothes dry, irritated nasal passages for quick and effective relief. Get back to enjoying life's big moments to the fullest without having to worry about everyday congestion holding you back. Just Sinex, breathe, use as directed.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sacktown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way 30.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers game day. Secure your spot at Levi's Stadium for the 2025 season.
20, one block and he's in.
Season tickets are available now. Inventory is limited, so to speak with a representative, call 415-GO-49ers.
Touchdown!
That's 415-GO-49ers.
San Francisco!
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. Call 800-885-3663. That's 800-885-3663. 800-885-3663.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
We're going to be talking to Stevie Johnson in about 10 minutes. You know, we're the home of the 49ers. Stevie Johnson, former 49er, Bills legend. So we'll take a peek ahead at the upcoming NFL playoffs with Stevie Johnson. For now, we continue the conversation on the Kings. And as I mentioned before we went to break, the 2-minute report is out. Actually came out a couple hours ago. And the NBA has determined there were no incorrect calls in the last 2 minutes of the Kings-Rockets game. The Rockets were complaining, but their complaint is it's interesting. What they're saying is they're not arguing that the plays, they're not saying, well, those weren't fouls. They're saying, well, they let us do it before. A bunch of ticky-tack touch calls at the end, which were the opposite of how they let us play the whole game, said Ime Udoka. Soft calls. And Dylan Brooks said some of those calls were no calls, very late, calling off reaction, and then trying to get their behind saved by video. That changed the game. But, I mean, it's hard to watch and be unbiased, but as unbiased as I could be watching those games, I mean, those were pretty clearly fouls, Jay. I mean, if you have a guy who has the ball and somebody comes and rakes him across the arm and he loses the ball, if you don't call a foul, you're not playing basketball. I don't know what you're playing.
Yeah, man. It took the loss. They're crying about it. We've been on the other side of it, right? How many times have we heard the King's Kingdom talk about, Oh man, that was a foul. This wasn't a foul. Shouldn't have been called a foul. This should have been called a foul. I get it, Houston Rocket fans. You took the loss. It's over with. You lost on national television. Your feelings are hurt. You're in your emotions. It's cool. Get over it.
Yeah, yeah. With 33 seconds left, Houston was down 1. There, Dylan Brooks stole the ball, but then he was called for a foul because, as the NBA officially says, Brooks initiates contact with Fox's left arm that causes him to lose control of the ball. That's a foul. If that's why a guy loses the ball. Later on, the controversial play that was called a foul on Dylan Brooks before the Kings inbounded the ball, Brooks grabs and pulls Fox's jersey away from his body, which affects his ability to move freely. Yes, that's a foul. So if they were letting us do that earlier. Well, you know what? That's a bad play by Dylan Brooks in that situation.
Right.
You get called for a foul before the ball's inbounded. That's a bad play.
Yeah. I mean, stop grabbing, stop holding.
Right.
Play some D, shuffle your feet.
Right. Dylan Brooks was
for that.
Cooked last night because DeMar DeRozan was baking him.
He was working him, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Man. And I mean, you got to give some credit to Dylan Brooks and the fact that he was right there, but just DeMar was better, And one thing about DeMar is he's got and I've looked at it a few times, and I even went back and looked at some of the clips and things like that since he's come to the Kings. That dream shake, and I'll just say the dream shake because he made it famous, of course. But the top left, pay attention to DeMar's shoulder, and I know I'm getting into the weeds, that most of the time he goes to his right. He fades to the right, 9 times out of 10. And he fades more to the right, but when he shoots over his left shoulder, it's more of a turnaround. And so I find it interesting with DeMar that I feel like he feels the defender with the top left shoulder 9 times out of 10. Yeah. Compared to, some people feel with the lower back, see where you putting that hand in the back, around the lower part of your back area. But to me, DeMar feels like he's looking for contact with the top shoulders, and not just both. I feel like he's always looking for that left shoulder to kind of see. And maybe hopefully I'm not giving, the Wizards are listening to the show and paying attention to that, but
it's almost like feeling it more than seeing it, right?
Yeah. I'm like, and those are the little things you see. And when you break down tape, you pay attention to it. But I find it super interesting. He goes to the left, it's more of a turnaround. He goes to the right, it's more of a fadeaway.
I think it was Eddie Johnson was commenting on a video on X of DeMar DeRozan. Somebody saying, "Oh, he's such a great shooter." Eddie Johnson's like, "You have no idea how he's doing that. His footwork is unbelievable."
Oh yeah,
I think
for sure.
Stan Van Gundy was talking about that.
Oh yeah, footwork is impeccable.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. From the 916 in the on the text line, the only thing that was frustrating in that fourth quarter was the Kings struggled to inbound the ball under pressure. Yeah, I've always compared pressure on the basketball to like a pass rush in football, and Houston was definitely getting to the quarterback last night. That was unbelievable. Man. Even the play where they called the foul on Dylan Brooks before the ball was inbounded, I'm still wondering why Malik tried to throw that pass in the first place.
Wasn't even open.
No.
Yeah. And I'm not calling these guys out, but it didn't seem like they were coming back aggressive enough. As you're talking about pass rush, I need the aggressive receiver to come back and receive that rock. To me, it was like they were lackadaisical. They're all kind of looking around like, you get it, where it's like, nah, let me go get the ball, and I mean, that's the point guard.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that. I know we got a bunch of cats handling the rock, but at the same time, I do think you got to be a little more aggressive in coming back to get that ball.
Or if they're overplaying, you try to go back door. But I'm glad the officials made those calls. But because when a team is that good defensively, and then the officials are also allowing them to be very physical, it gets very tough to inbound the ball and to make those
Agreed.
passes.
You holding. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's like, what are we going to do? They're going to tackle me and you're not going to call anything.
It's just like, 49er fans who've been crying for 2 years. The 2 years they played the Chiefs about holding and false starts and everything else. So I get it. I understand.
You know what? Tomorrow's kind of like the 49ers against the Chiefs one more time because D'Amico Ryans.
Yeah, that's true. Well, hopefully he gets the W.
Hopefully he can slow down at least Patrick Mahomes.
Hey, someone from the 916 said, "Cry me a river, Houston Timberlake." Justin, right? Yeah, just here a couple nights ago, right? 2 nights ago here in Sacramento. Real quick, what Trey asked, I want to get your thoughts on this because
we're going to get back to
my mind is starting to change a little bit. I do believe you still need another star here in Sacramento for this thing to be a champion, down the road. I'm still believe you need a 1A guy. Love DeMar. He's just a little longer in the tooth. I really like what De'Aaron brings to the table. I've always been the person to say I think De'Aaron's a better Robin than a Batman. It's no disrespect to him. That's how I see him. As I've always said also, please prove me wrong.
Do the Kings have a Batman, or do they still
I don't
need a
think they
Batman?
have one.
Okay.
Yeah, and we talked about this the last couple of days here on the show. Unfortunately, when I say that, a lot of times people look at the form of, oh, Jay, you disrespecting De'Aaron, or you disrespecting DeMar or Domantas Sabonis. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we did the exercise to win a championship. More times than not, history has told us 99% pretty much. I think we found 2 or 3 teams who didn't have a top 10 guy in the league. Now, if you believe De'Aaron's a top 10 guy, then I'll be quiet. I'll shut my mouth. But if you don't, then to me, that tells me there's still a missing piece. Now, we can be the Pistons. We can be the 79 Sonics. We can be, there are
Gus Williams.
Yes, absolutely. RIP. Shouts out to Doug, giving Gus some love too.
Yes.
And Barkley. But I am saying this. I put all of that out there, Whitey. I'm starting to come around to say we might be able to be the Pistons.
I think to do that, I'm with you. I think to do it, and I have a hunch this is what they're going to try to do, and I think they're going to pull it off. I think you need 2 guys.
2 of them.
Yeah. And maybe if you don't get that superstar, who I don't think is available without tearing up your team,
Not right
he
now,
might not be available anyway.
Yep.
If you can get 2 guys who are like, that's a really good player.
Yeah.
It'll make you better.
Rasheed Wallace.
A wing and a big. I think
Rip
you might be able
Hamilton.
to get there.
Guys who are top 50.
Mm-hmm.
Got a little something to them.
Yeah.
And any given night can be a Batman.
Yeah, 2 guys like that.
Yeah.
That makes any team better.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm starting to come around to that thought of that thought of thinking, where it's like stars are hard to get. And you guys talking over the last 48 hours have definitely made me, even because let me take a step back from that. To me, stars move around way more now than any time in the past. Like when Kevin Durant, LeBron, like you would never see that 25 years ago. If there was if Patrick Ewing jumped ship in his prime, man, the whole NBA would have fell apart, right? And so I thought you could go, I still believe you can go grab a star in these days and times in the NBA. But as we're starting to look at the landscape of the NBA trade situations right now, I'm with you. I don't think nobody that's really a Batman is available this year. And we may not even see that this offseason.
Yeah, we'll get back to that conversation, certainly in this show. And I'm certain in the days and weeks to come. But coming up next, Stevie Johnson, Bills legend, former 49er. He'll preview the upcoming NFL playoff weekend for us next on Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never be. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you do. Because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done is a job well done, well under budget. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With over 500 new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-889-5566. 800-889-5566. 800-889-5566.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411th North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Live and local, it's the Tribe Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
It's finally here. The best football weekend of the year. I think you're with me, Jay. I know we had more games last weekend, but when those wild card games, you got some teams playing that probably shouldn't be there. This weekend, we should have legitimate playoff teams in every game, right?
Who shouldn't have been there?
Last week, Denver,
Pittsburgh, Denver. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just checking.
You know, you get some of these wild card hangers on. It's like, good for you, you made it. But now it's more the cream of the crop. Although the point spreads are very one-sided. Anyway, with more on all of that, nice stuff to join us. 8-year NFL wide receiver, Bills legend, TSN and Spectrum NFL analyst Stevie Johnson. How are you today, Stevie?
What's going on, fellas? Let's get it. I heard that rapping Forte in the background. I know it's going to be a good one.
Come on, Nels, 415. You know I got your back, man.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Stevie, I know you were born in San Francisco, but I always think of you as a Fairfield guy, 707. Is that I'm from Vallejo. Is that okay if I do that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely. I got love in the Flatlands also. That's where I, developed the name also throughout high school. So I definitely got love up there in the 707.
All right. We got your old team, one of your old teams, the Bills and the Ravens. You think maybe that's the best matchup of the weekend? Best game of the weekend?
Oh, my goodness. That's what everybody came to see. I feel like the top two candidates for MVP battling out to go play against, I believe, is going to be Patrick Mahomes. I don't give the Houston Texans a chance. I'm sorry, Houston. But, this Bills versus Ravens matchup is the one to watch.
Stevie, you of course, you being legendary Bills Mafia, do you believe, and I'll just start and leave it here, do you believe this is the Bills' year? And don't give me the legendary Bills answer. Give me the real breakdown. Do you think they can first of all get past Baltimore, Lamar Jackson, but do you think they can take the necessary steps this year to hoist the trophy?
You know what? I feel like aside from the Kansas City Chiefs with their skill of being in close games, no matter what the situation is, I think this is going to be the hardest test for the Buffalo Bills this year. They've already played against the Ravens in Week 4, and we've seen what happened. They completely destroyed the Buffalo Bills. They ran for 298 yards. It just looked unfair. But at the same time, if you look at that game in depth, the Buffalo Bills didn't have 4 of their starters on defense. So that's what makes me think that this is going to be a different type of game, more interesting game. And another thing, the Buffalo Bills being undefeated at home. So that's something that I'm looking forward to seeing how the Baltimore Ravens react to the Bills Mafia community.
Well, you just mentioned the Bills Mafia. So, Stevie, we got to ask you about this. I see this story here, Sporting News. Stevie Johnson sends gift to Adam Schefter, thanks him for helping start Bills Mafia. What is that about?
Whoa.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. That was some unintentional work. I'm going to say it was a blessing because, as a youngin coming up in San Francisco and Fairfield, I always wanted to be an example, for the youth and for just people in general. But I never thought of it being from a mistake or from a bad play. And Adam Schefter and we got some history, unintentional history, where I missed the pass against the Pittsburgh Steelers in overtime. And I took to social media at the time. That wasn't like it was today. It was just me expressing my feelings and connecting with my Buffalo Bills community on how I felt. And one thing led to another. Adam Schefter was pretty much just doing his job and reporting the news and the current events. And he spoke my name, and then the community from Buffalo just had my back on something that was just amazing that I didn't even understand at the time, because I just posted it and I just let it go. And then the next thing you know, I'm getting tweets and messages and calls and all this stuff. And it was out of nowhere. And the Bills Mafia just came about, and it was just amazing.
You know, Stevie, that is crazy because, of course, being here from the West Coast, being from Northern California, Bay Area, to slide all the way over to the East Coast, Buffalo, which is, you know, a lot of times people forget that's still New York. Right? We always look at it as, even from the outskirts of New York, nobody really rocking in Buffalo. But explain for the people who haven't had the opportunity. We get to see it, like you said, social network. We see the IG post, we see the Twitter post, the Blue Sky post, but to actually live it and breathe it and be part of Bills Mafia, is it really that crazy over there?
Yeah, no, it really is, because you got to think about the weather. Is obviously that's the first thing that people think about is how cold it is, and then when you get there, like damn, it's really cold here. How are people living? Yeah, how are people living here? And then one, how are they living? But two, how do they love it? They love it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be a different type of person. And then when you talk about the sports teams, obviously they had their glory years. I think every team in the NFL has their glory years, but they've also had a lot of down years, and I was a part of those down years. And the loyalty that the fan base had, and just what we were just talking about. I mean, I had a negative play, and I became immortal in the community. So I mean, it just shows the loyalty that fan base has.
That sounds
in Buffalo.
Yeah, that in some ways sounds similar to the relationship here between Sacramento and the basketball team. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Stevie
Johnson.
And
that's what I love. I love it. I love being a part of the California sports community. Even though all my homies, my friends, they don't like it. You either Warriors or Kings. I represent all of them, to be honest. They don't like me at my house.
Stevie, we got the Eagles and the Rams. They could play in the snow. The forecast says they're probably going to play in some snow. You mentioned the weather in Buffalo. What advice would you give to somebody about playing in the cold and in the snow? You got to love it. You got to love it. If you're thinking about it when it's game time, you're not built for it. You know, it's got to be a mindset. And if we're talking about real strategy, you got to amp up that run game. If you got the team with the run game is the one that I'm going to lean towards in these matchups. And then, you know, when you come down to it, LA Rams versus the Eagles, where's that game played? Is it in Arizona or is it in Philly? It's in Philly. Yeah.
Philly. Yeah, it's home team and it's going to be cold. They got a dominant running game. As much as I want to go LA West Coast and they beat the Buffalo Bills, I'm going to go with Philly because that running game is doing some phenomenal things. And if you can have a great running game, you can keep an offense off the field. So that's what I fear from the Philadelphia Eagles controlling the Rams. Yeah, joined by Stevie Johnson, legendary, course, 8 years in the NFL, rocking and rolling from Northern California. Stevie, one of the things that touches me is, of course, being a 49er fan, you know that, man, I absolutely at this point, sports-wise, not personally, can't stand the Kansas City Chiefs. I would imagine as someone that's played for the 49ers, Chargers, and the Bills, you would have some type of dislike for the Kansas City Chiefs. Is there any weakness that you can see that this Chiefs teams have that maybe a team like Buffalo can, attack? Dang, that's a good question, because as much as I want to say that there is a weakness and we need somebody to identify it, the weak, there is none. They have a lack in weakness. You got to have a deep team, and that's what I feel like. I represent the Buffalo Bills, so when I speak it, I feel like the Bills will have an advantage over the Kansas City Chiefs because the Bills have depth with 3 running backs, 4 if you include Josh Allen. Then you go with Amari Cooper with that addition after that Baltimore Ravens beat down. Then you have Mac Hollins, who stepped into a great role. There's so many pieces, 2 tight ends. You got to have depth to play against the Kansas City Chiefs team because they go play down to the final quarter or extra quarters.
Yeah, they just seem uniquely suited to today's NFL, Stevie. The margin of victory now, it seems smaller than it's ever been. And maybe it's Mahomes, but the Chiefs just seem to have that knack where if it's a close game, and so many games are now, they're going to find a way to pull it out in the end. Yeah. And you know what the interesting thing is? They've been like that since their first Super Bowl. So this isn't nothing new to that style of team. So like when what was it, the 49 against our Niners, our 49ers, it was like
the Niners are going to be winning. I think we spoke at the Super Bowl. The Niners are going to be winning, and then it's going to be down to that last stop. You got to stop the Kansas City Chiefs, and it's been like that since then. Since 13 seconds with even the Buffalo Bills. That first run. So like this team is built for it, and they're like the anomaly of the NFL. That's why they sit at number one with the lowest win margin, but they're number one. For a reason.
Stevie, this is something in the few opportunities we had to chop it up, I've never asked you this. I definitely want to ask you before we let you go about the new bobblehead, because first of all, and my guy Whitey, Kevin, he's a huge bobblehead guy. He's a memorabilia guy. So we got to figure something out here. We'll put the pieces together. But being a receiver and going from the east to the west, west to the east, is there a difference? And not so much as like in the weather, but as far as AFC versus NFC, playing for an organization like the 49ers, who, are steeped in tradition, versus the Bills, where they have a huge tradition, but haven't always won. Is there a difference?
No, because when you think about it like that, with that tradition, it was a management that they had with them, So from the east to the west, you might have a West Coast type of management on the East Coast. But how effective will it be? Because then you got to take into the account of weather, because that's the biggest difference. The way a team calls their offense, me being an offensive player. On the West Coast, we line it up spread and we can throw whatever, on the West Coast. But on the East Coast, you're not always lining up spread, and that play is not going to be for a pass. It might just to throw the defense off, and we go run it because it's so cold and how the ball and the conditions can be. So that's the biggest difference. As far as strategy-wise and, championships and this and that, I think that's just about management and who they bring in as coaches and, the staff and everything. So it's a little different. It's like on the line, you're on the line, but, it's all about the management and weather mostly.
All right, Stevie. Oh, we'll let you go on this. So it sounds like you're a little torn, the Bills, your heart's with the Bills, but you think Chiefs are going to win their third straight Super Bowl this year? Is that how you would call it at this point?
Nah, I'm going Bills win their Super Bowl. The Bills got this one. Yeah. We're going to handle business this Saturday, against the Ravens.
Yeah.
And then, we're going to take care of the Kansas City Chiefs, and then we on to the Super Bowl.
Real quick, Steve, before we let you go, explain the new bobblehead, man. I've been hearing about this new bobblehead. I heard it's hard to get. It's flying off the shelves. Bill's Mafia snatching it up as quick as possible as it's being produced. I haven't been able to get my hands on one just yet. What's going on with this bobblehead, man? Why is this thing flying? Why is it so hot?
Yeah, no, it was special, man. Shout out to Foco. They, they took a chance on it. Actually, Zach, our boy Zach, he's huge in the collection also. So Whitey and Zach got to link up and see who got the most collectibles.
That's tough. That'll be a tough one.
Yeah, one random message though. Yeah, one random email, and they loved it. So we ended up creating our Why So Serious Foco with some Easter eggs in it, commemorating Buffalo and my career. And we got some good things, man. It's been flying off the shelf. They've been supporting our mentorship, the Exposure Academy, and it's just a blessing, man. Just trying to keep it going.
That's awesome.
Man, that's what's up, big time.
One of our favorites. Thank you, Stevie. We appreciate it very much. Good luck to you and the Bills. Enjoy the weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Indeed. One love, y'all. Take care.
All right. So from the 707, Stevie Johnson. We'll take a timeout, come back, take a look at another Snow Bowl on this weekend's NFL playoff schedule. We'll get back to the phones as well at 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. I'm sure we'll find our way back to the Kings as well on Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Clear this evening and cooling off quickly. We'll start Saturday morning with some patches of low clouds and fog, with afternoon sun and highs near 60. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
The new year is upon us with promises of new beginnings and new adventures, but don't let 2024 slip away without savoring the memories made with family and friends. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Looking forward is always exciting, but I have a lot to appreciate in this past year, revolving around time with family and more good time spent around my Naturewood dining table. Watching my grandson with his first bite of birthday cake was priceless and reminds me that new life is the perfect balance between yesterday and today. Greet the new year with a visit to Naturewood Home Furnishings during their annual New Year sale going on now, including all the fine furniture and accessories in every department. How about a new style for the new year? Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with future memories for tomorrow. The memories you make with your family will stay with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings. Off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Golden One Center January 24th through 26th. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Tickets on sale now at monsterjam.com.
Elk Grove Honda reports that Honda has earned 3 coveted 2025 Car and Driver 10 Best Awards for the 3rd year in a row, honoring Honda Civic, Accord, and CRV. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Did you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up Oscar! La, 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 la.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Thanks for being with us, and thanks to Stevie Johnson. We were just talking to Stevie about, among other things, special Funko Pop bobblehead that Jay can't even get one. They're all sold out. They're on back order. Yeah, so it's really popular with Bills fans. So speaking of bobbleheads, I remember this day. Yeah, last night the Kings had a Hello Kitty giveaway. We're not sure exactly what happened. There was talk of keychains. There were towels that were given away last night, which is
rally towels, baby.
Anything's Hello Kitty, great, right?
Hot.
I saw this on Twitter. The Warriors on Tuesday, January 28th, against the Utah Jazz, will give to the first 10,000 fans in attendance a Hello Kitty bobblehead.
Oh,
Warriors Hello Kitty bobblehead.
I hate you. Oh, are you serious, White?
That's what it says. Yes. Yeah.
Why somebody got to always try to outdo the Kings, baby? Wait a minute. They about to drop a bobblehead of Hello Kitty?
Yeah, and I saw a picture last night online. I can't find one right now, but yes. Tuesday, January 28th.
And then
Warriors Hello Kitty bobblehead.
And then what's so cold about it is that's in 10 days about.
Yeah.
So y'all couldn't even do this in March? Y'all want to stick it to us in a week and a half?
I don't know. I think, doesn't the Hello Kitty, like their caravan, like they travel from city to city, and weren't they just here? So maybe they're going to make their way to the Bay Area.
If I gave you an answer, I'd be lying. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I have no clue.
Yeah.
So there's like a Hello Kitty NBA tour?
I don't know if it's NBA, but I think there is a Hello Kitty tour. Again, I said
that. I don't. Yeah,
I saw it on the news a couple days ago. It's like, people were like, "There's a lot of people that come out for it."
Yeah,
like, Hello Kitty's here. Where are they? And then, anyway, it's just unfortunate that.
Come on, man.
Our fans got the towel and
where's Drapes at? I'm gonna have to have him call Uncle V. Uncle V. We might have to have like a secondary Hello Kitty day. Karopi, or what was the other thing called?
What's that?
Karopi, or what? Oh man, that's when I was going to school. You ain't never heard like Karopi?
No.
Oh,
No,
hold on, I gotta
sorry.
look this up.
Yeah.
All right, I bet I'm probably saying the name wrong, but let me triple check. Hold on. It was like a frog. Wasn't Keropi a frog?
I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't know Keropi the frog. I don't know. 339.
Yeah, look it up. Keroppi.
Okay.
And it's in the Hello Kitty family.
Oh,
the Sanrio family, right? Yeah.
I gotcha.
Have you seen that? The little frog or whatever it's a frog, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Yes. I didn't know about that. So yeah, I wasn't saying you're wrong. It's just that's the first I've heard of our
so now they got to come
friend.
with the Keropi night.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or another family member of the Sanrio family.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the education.
Dang, they got a bobblehead?
I think it's a pretty nice
one. I got to look that up.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Javier, we just talked to Stevie from Fairfield. Javier from Vacaville joins us, Sacktown Sports. What's up, Javi?
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Gleason, Mr. J? I am a Fairfield resident now, though. I bought a house here in May 2022, so shout out to that, man. Stevie, you know what I'm saying, hold it down for the Flatlands. And, you know, my condolences and, you know, deepest prayers with you, Mr. Gleason, you know. Shout out to your brother, man, my two brothers, Tyler and Brandon, their second cousin. I'm glad to hear everything's going well.
Yes, thank you.
And the second thing was, man, those I just had a comment. The gold, great value Gold Ranger, Power Ranger edition Kings uniforms, man. I don't think we're gonna ever need to have them back.
No, I don't.
But
think so,
yeah, those are something of the past for a reason. But the two things I want to discuss is I don't think the likes of Brooklyn, Cam Johnson. I love the Jimmy Butler idea, rather sure. It's a lot to give, along with the Jeremy Grants and you know, anybody else that you may want to acquire in the trade market. But I do want to see, and I think what you hit on was clear. The Kings need a wing, and they need a shot blocker. And people seem to forget, as of January 17, 2025, Domantas Sabonis leads the NBA, or second in the NBA, based on statistical data at this time, in three-point shooting at 47.8%. So to hear, he's going to clog the floor. I want to see what you guys think of these two trades that I think are more than practical. I would call Utah Jazz and offer them right now. I think we've had this discussion before, but especially now, we need a shot blocker and an extra wing. I would say I'm going to give you Trey Lyles, Kevin Huerter, Jordan McLaughlin, and a first-round pick for 2029, along with 2 seconds for John Collins and Walker Kessler. We get the wing we need, that shot blocking center in Kessler, along with that perimeter defense, that three-point shooter, and that, you know, can yam and alley-oop, and really that you know, pick and roll game. He's a live threat on anybody's dome in the league. You don't like that? Well, this is my second option. You trade the same package for Kyle Kuzma, Jonas Valanciunas. Pick what you like, but either way, I think, you know, the player option Collins got, you still offer them the same Huerter, Lyles, and McLaughlin in the first-round pick at 29, along with 2 seconds. You don't got to mortgage the future, but you also don't got to give rid of anybody you're building around. That team right there, I think, is at least a second-round contending team in the Western Conference. Let me know what you guys think, John.
Javier, real quick, what do you teach?
PE.
Okay. Just wanted.
Thanks, Javi.
Varsity football coach. Thank you, sir.
Great. Appreciate that. I think we're pretty much on the same page with those. I think the Collins and Kessler would cost me too much. I'd be okay. I think I could get Collins and another backup center that's going to help me for less. So that's nothing against Walker Kessler. I just think it would cost me too much.
Yeah.
Kuzma, we may disagree, Jake. Kuzma, I'm with Jerry on that. I'm just out on Kuzma.
Yeah, I'm out on Kuzma at this point. I mean, I know what he brings. It's scoring. It's scoring. But I also need to make sure, and I know what Drapes has talked about with Kuzma is this. You know, he's been on a bad team, so of course it looks worse. He's probably not focused, not fixated on what he's doing, playing ball at the highest level.
We'll see him Sunday, I
guess.
guess.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I'll say this, though. If you're going to go get a Kyle Kuzma at this point, it's almost like kind of, and it sounds crazy, but I need to do a little more back research on this, is I need to know what's going on. Like, why are you over there playing around, messing around? And I get it. I know the Wizards are a dumpster fire at this point, but I also need to know where your mind is coming, especially now that we've changed head coaches and you see the passion that Coach Doug Christie is, projecting towards this team? Are you going to be able to come in and hit that type of level? Kyle Kuzma, to me, doesn't fit that kind of scheme right now.
Yeah, and even if I'm with you, there are at least questions there.
Yes,
and those are questions I can't afford in my opinion to take that risk right now.
Yeah, you
maybe I'm wrong, but it's like I might be right. So last year he could have been traded to Dallas, and he decided, nah,
I'm good.
That's his business, but that's the type of thing that makes me wonder.
Yeah, I'm with that. The other part of it too is the names are good, but they cost a lot. They definitely cost a lot. And from everything we keep hearing is Walker Kessler is going to take 2 1s. If you're not willing to give up 2 1s for Cam Johnson, I don't know why you're not giving up 2 for him and giving up 2 for Walker Kessler.
I'm with you, and I could be wrong, but I'm with you. I think if you were to get Walker Kessler and John Collins, and I know Javi had his package in mind, but I think it would cost more than that.
I think so too. Yeah. I
mean,
but
we're all close. I mean, we're all agreeing on basically what the Kings need.
Yeah, absolutely. A little defense, a little length, a little more athleticism. I think, if you would have asked me coming into the season, I probably would have said a little more, I still said attitude. I don't think you get that from Kuzma. And again, I don't know if it's the right attitude, the wrong attitude, or no attitude. I don't know where Kyle Kuzma's coming from at this point. Valanciunas is cool. I'm good with that situation. I like Walker Kessler as a basketball player. I think he's overvalued for what he does, but I do think he would work perfect for what happens with the Kings. The only thing is him and Domas in there together, very slow foot.
Yeah.
It's super, super slow foot. We don't have the best wing defenders.
Right.
So I think you kind of got to bring somebody else. I'll say this, though. Instead of Walker Kessler, how about this? John Collins and Jordan Clarkson. Now I'm talking because I like Jordan Clarkson's attitude. He feels the need, which we have, which is the lack of 6-man punch, 15 microwavable offensive points, 15, 16 fresh off the pine. I think Jordan Clarkson is that type of guy, and he can do it at a high note, a high clip too.
One of the reasons they talk so much about a backup center, I believe, is because if they get the type of wing they want, they're probably going to have to trade Trey Lyles.
True.
Or they want to trade Trey Lyles to make the salaries match to stay out of the luxury tax. So then that's one reason why they figure to have this need for a backup center. It's not just where they are now, it's where they would be without Trey Lyles. So what you described there, that would work if John Collins can be your backup center. But I think if you did that, you still would need to get a backup center. But it sounds like there's a lot of them available, and they're not going to cost that much.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
As far as what you have to give to get them.
That's what's being said.
Because these dudes are making decent money.
And there's just a lot of centers. All of a sudden, there's a lot of centers on the market. So it's a good time to be looking for a center.
All those centers can't shoot. All the guys that we pretty much name are the guys who can't shoot threes, which is, depends on the fit here.
That's why I'm keeping my mind open about Kelly Olynyk. He can shoot a little bit.
He can shoot it.
Yeah. I know he's a Drapes guy too, but I try not to hold that against Kelly Olynyk. We'll be back with that playoff preview next. Sacktown Sports.
Coach Doug Christie here for your truck headquarters, reminding you that every deal at Folsom Lake Ford is a slam dunk. Shop all your favorite models on sale now, including America's best-selling truck for over 47 years, Ford F-Series, plus a huge selection of Broncos, Bronco Sports, and all of Ford's award-winning SUVs at FolsomLakeFord.com. Listen, I know a great play when I see one, and if you want to save on a new Ford, you gotta drive the lane straight to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Right now, buy any new Ford with 0 down on approval of credit. Save big with low interest financing, and Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. So hurry to Folsom Lake Ford, a 6-time Triple Crown winner for sales and service excellence. That's why they're my trusted dealer, and they should be yours too. Tell them Coach Doug Christie sent you, or shop them online at FolsomLakeFord.com.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411th North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
It's time to turn up the volume on live entertainment. Check out the Sacktown Sports live events calendar for the hottest events and shows coming your way. On February 18th, catch the incredible Miles Kennedy at Ace of Spades. His powerful vocals and raw talent will leave you speechless. Then gear up for an adrenaline-packed night with the Thunder Showdown boxing event at Thunder Valley on March 8th. Who will come out on top in the ring? Be there to find out. On March 9th, don't miss the legendary John Oates live at the Crest Theater, bringing you iconic hits and timeless melodies. If you're a country fan, mark your calendar for March 16th, when Alexandra Kay brings her heartfelt songs to Ace of Spades for an unforgettable evening. And on March 29th, get ready to rock the night away as Papa Roach and Rise Against take over the Golden One Center with an electrifying performance. Don't miss these amazing events. For more information and your chance to win tickets, head to sacktownsports.com. Sacktown Sports, your front row seat to the Sacramento area's best live entertainment.
Hello, I'm Frank Cock with Retirement Security Centers with a weekly economic update. Are prices cooling along with the weather? Core consumer price index increases were 0.2% in December, lower than the 0.3% forecasted. Interest rate futures still point to a pause in interest rate reductions until June, but point to a possible second rate cut in 2025 after all. This could allow time for the Federal Reserve to see how potential tariffs and other policies from incoming President Donald Trump may affect the economy. Some large bank earnings were reported this week as well, and the markets reacted positively. Some growth stocks, which tend to perform better with lower inflation expectations as their value is based on future earnings, which can be discounted by expected inflation, also saw upward movement. The 10-year Treasury rates dropped to 4.66 due to the expectation for lower rates. Globally, the agreed-upon ceasefire between Israel and Hamas could also remove some negative economic headwinds. Let's hope it lasts. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Osaic FA Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Osaic FA is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Osaic FA.
Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers game day. Secure your spot at Levi's Stadium for the 2025 season.
20, one block and he's in.
Season tickets are available now. Inventory is limited, so to speak with a representative, call 415-GO-49ers.
Touchdown!
That's 415-GO-49ers.
San Francisco!
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Elk Grove Honda reports that Honda has earned 3 coveted 2025 Car and Driver 10 Best Awards for the 3rd year in a row, honoring the Honda Civic, Honda Accord, and Honda CR-V. Honda Accord wins for a record 39th time. You can see and drive all the new 2025 award-winning models at Elk Grove Honda and see why Honda cars and trucks continue to impress the critics. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Hey, horror movie fans. The Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento is now serving adult beverages. This week, get ready for Wolfman, the IMAX experience.
What was that thing, Blake?
It was like an animal, but it was standing on 2 feet.
The best place to experience this action-packed thriller is on the Esquire IMAX 6-story screen.
Something's happening to me.
With heart-pounding audio that'll keep you on the edge of your seat. Get your tickets early at IMAX.com/Sacramento. And don't miss Wolfman, playing this week at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Do I choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
You gonna check out the Wolfman at the Esquire?
No,
Okay.
I'll pass on that. It's funny.
Yeah.
I just got off the phone. My wife been calling me like 2-3 times between the show asking about Den of Thieves.
Oh.
Like, I just so pumped up about Den of Thieves all of a sudden today. Can you get some tickets? And all? I'm like, yeah, sure. I got you. No problem.
We have right now, as you may have in your home, one of our many monitors. We have monitors in the studio of every sporting event going on in the world. Boston leading Orlando 39-32 on ESPN. I mentioned that because at some point today, we have to get to how the Orlando Magic, they have their own, well, it's not the beam, but they have something they do after every win that they say was inspired by the King's beam.
Yeah.
You know about that?
I've seen it.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I have seen that.
So if we have time, we'll have to get to that. We got our NFL weekend playoff preview to get to. First, Mitch has been on hold. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. We go all the way back to the frosty East Coast. Here's Mitch in New Jersey. What's up, Mitch?
What's the temperature, Mitch?
Yeah.
So it's telling me this is the warm day today. It was really nice today. It was like 41.
41? My goodness.
Put the shorts on.
Snow and Sunday, 2.5 inches. It's just the plow, the shovel and that stuff. It never ends.
Yeah.
It's been a very cold winter.
Yeah.
But I can't complain. So what's happening out in California,
yeah.
And I hope our friends that we always help with disasters, they come offering us money too and help.
Yes.
This is one of the worst disasters I can remember.
Absolutely.
I don't want to mention 9/11, but
yeah,
that was man-made. Sorry to get into negativity here. The Kings here, I don't want to see Trey Keegan or even Devin Carter. I'm liking that. Get the big guy. I don't want Kuzma. He's been around too much. Washington, he just helped Washington get a Colonel Flag. I'm sorry, Cooper Flag. It always reminds me of that character from MASH, Flag. Jay, I know I'm older than you guys. I'm sorry. It's a great show, MASH, but Flag was one of the characters. That's what it reminds me of.
Did you just say MASH? Is that what you're talking about, the show MASH? Oh, man, that was, if I'm not mistaken, that is the longest lasting sitcom ever, right? Like, didn't it go for 22 odd seasons, something like that?
Might be. I'd have to check.
No, it was about 11. It was about only 11.
Okay, hold on. There's something to this. Yeah, look, there's something to this MASH to have a record. Maybe it's the longest lasting sitcom that continues to be shown or something. I just saw something about this not too long ago.
I'll check on that. Go ahead with your point. Go ahead, Mitch.
Frank Burns and Henry were great characters.
Yeah.
And I want to say,
that was a boring show, man.
For the football, I hope it's Lamar and Jalen Daniels in the Super Bowl. I-95. Take care. Have a nice weekend.
All right, thank you. Yeah, MASH was Mitch is right. MASH was on from 72 to 83. Which is something here, the 30 longest running TV sitcoms. And I think it's somewhere in that list. So I think maybe you guys are both right. Let's see. MASH is among the longest running sitcoms. I think the longest running sitcom in TV history, I think it might be It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia now.
Really?
I think that's pushing it up there. Yeah. So I'll have to do a little more research on that. But you didn't like MASH, huh? You thought it was boring?
Yeah, super boring. 209 MASH was the longest running weekly episodic show on TV before WWE. I saw something like that.
Yeah.
Analytics, something crazy.
Yeah.
Somebody also said for the 916 highest finale viewership.
That's what I was gonna get to. I thought maybe that's where you were going.
It was something like the longest lasting, and they still showing reruns of MASH, man. MASH is dry.
Well, I mean, you think about it.
Dry,
we're going to have a comedy. Great. What's it about? It's about a surgical hospital in the Korean War.
Right.
All right. Well, good luck with that.
Yeah. So. People obviously enjoyed it. MASH is so boring. I remember as a kid.
My mom loved that show.
Dang, I'm always on the negative with Mother Gleason.
Yep, always.
Moms like MASH?
Yes. She loved that show.
Do you remember why? Was there any real reason why?
I think my mom and dad had gone to the movie. The movie was a big hit movie.
Yeah.
And it didn't have it had the same characters, but not the same actors. And I think they loved the movie, and then they it was very highly rated show.
Yeah.
It was a good show.
Yeah.
They
People
would
loved
deal.
it.
We're saying, how can you do a comedy about war? But they dealt with some important issues at the time.
Yeah.
So, anyway, thank you, Mitch. Stay warm. Jay, look at these point spreads this weekend. You got tomorrow, Houston at Kansas City, Chiefs favored by 8.5. Yeah. Washington at Detroit.
9.5.
Yes.
Okay.
Sunday, the Rams at Philadelphia. 6 is what I have.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah. And then Baltimore at Buffalo. I believe the Bills are a home dog.
They're a home dog?
1 point home dog.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Are we going to get any surprises there? Some big, especially for a playoff weekend, some big point spreads.
Yeah.
Last week, it occurred to me last night as I was thinking about this, 5 of the 6 home teams won last weekend. The only home team that didn't win last weekend was Tampa Bay, and they probably should have.
Yeah, they probably should have. Yeah.
You see any surprises there? Again, LA at Philly, as we discussed with Stevie Johnson, the temperatures are expected to drop from an overnight high of 36, and they're looking at 4 to 5 inches of snow, heaviest before and during that game on Sunday.
That's tough. Let me tell you, Stevie said you got to have the mindset, and he's right, because I'd be like, nah, coach, can we push this back till tomorrow? I think if there's any game, and I'm not just picking on Drapes, I think it's the Rams-Philly game.
Really?
Yeah, like if you're asking me to pick, a dog, I'd take, I guess Buffalo on paper is a dog. Give me Buffalo as the dog. But looking at it, somebody that's on the road, I'd take the Rams over Philadelphia. I just think Philly's offense is stagnant enough that the Rams, even in the snow, Kyron Williams, I think they have the type of team that is proven. I think Sean McVay is a good coach. I think their defense is just pesky enough, that they can deal with Saquon Barkley there. The snow will definitely slow them down. I just think the Eagles are there for the taking when it comes to the Rams. I don't know if they win, but I would choose them over the other 3.
Didn't they? I heard Ramsey talking about this. Didn't the Eagles already throttle the Rams once this year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Saquon
had a pretty big day, but those conditions are the equalizer, right?
Right.
One of my Pop Warner coaches, Coach Del Rosario and his brother, Coach Del Rosario, they used to say, bad weather, you want to score first. Real important to score first. Could be a low-scoring snow game. Although, go back to that game in the snow, the Steelers and the Browns. Remember that? And we had
the year we're talking here.
Jameis, just
recently.
just
pat this
Jameis
season.
They were slinging it in the snow, remember?
Yeah, they were going at it.
Yes.
Well, Jameis slings it anyway. It doesn't matter where he's at, but he's going to throw that ball all around the field. Sometimes to his team, sometimes to the other team.
But it was in the driving.
Yeah.
And going up top.
The other thing, too, is, and that's the other part for me, is it's tough to beat the same team twice. Especially when you're not in conference. I mean, not in division. And so I don't know, man. I think if I had to choose, my heart wants to say Houston, but it's tough to beat. It is. You almost got to get lucky on top of, have a good game to beat the Chiefs.
I'm not calling you out for this because I didn't make any predictions, but I know you thought the Chiefs would be in trouble this week.
Yep.
You thought they'd be playing a different team. So my point isn't to say, you said that. My point is you really want the Chiefs to lose, don't you?
Yeah, I definitely do. I mean, I'm not hiding that from anybody. Sorry, legendary Jerry Reynolds and everybody else, Kyle and Chris Verlad's a Pat Mahomes guy. Absolutely, man. What they've done, they've caused ruckus in the faithful to the Bay fandom. Like, I got no love for the Chiefs, for Pat Mahomes, for his brother, for the owners over there, for for anybody that's rocking an Arrowhead hat. A coat. No, I got no love for the Chiefs at all, man. Zero. Absolutely zero.
By the way, Jay, I just heard from a good friend of mine. I haven't heard from him in a while. He's a Dodger fan. So why did I just hear from him? Rookie to the Dodgers.
Oh, man.
Thanks.
Block him.
When we come back, will the Kings find a way to get that size they need, as we've been talking about? We'll tell you about the Orlando Magic and their answer to the beam when we come back to Sacktown Sports.
When it's all on the line, you need a big-time closer, and that's especially true when it comes to your garage door. And that's why I recommend National Garage Door, 638-4554. Whitey Gleason here for National Garage Door. Whether you're looking to repair an existing door or get a brand new one installed, you need National Garage Door. Family-owned and operated. They've been around since 1974 because service is their number one priority. National Garage Door are the region's BSE. It's broken spring experts. Styles, prices, and quality of the new doors will amaze you. Our garage door was starting to sound kind of, and that's not good. So Kevin from National Garage Door came out. He said patching up the old one was an option, But we're getting a new garage door. We're pretty happy about that. National Garage Door sells quality Rainer branded garage doors. They offer sales, service, and installation on all residential and commercial doors and operators. If you have garage door needs, old ones coming apart, or you're looking to improve your curb appeal, let National Garage Door come through for you in the clutch and be your closer. 638-4554, National Garage Door.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now it's our lowest price of the season on our top-selling i8 smart bed. Your best savings, plus free home delivery with any base. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Paramount Plus is your streaming home for the NFL playoffs on CBS. This weekend in the divisional round presented by Intuit TurboTax, Josh Allen and the Bills host Lamar Jackson and the Ravens for a spot in the AFC Championship. Sunday at 6:30 Eastern, streaming live on Paramount Plus.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Paramount Plus is your streaming home for the NFL playoffs on CBS. This weekend in the divisional round presented by Intuit TurboTax, Josh Allen and the Bills host Lamar Jackson and the Ravens for a spot in the AFC Championship. Sunday at 6:30 Eastern, streaming live on Paramount Plus.
Wow, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Happy New Grill. Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Give your family a real treat as we did on Christmas Eve. Bring out all the flavors of the new year with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. Napoleon grills have features other grills can't match. They're built different, built better, built to last. Complete with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Whitey and Napoleon Grills wish you Happy New Year. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
We've tried to stay very positive about the Kings today, which is not hard to do the way they're playing after they beat the Rockets last night. And just a great game, 132-127. But you do have the Rockets complaining about the officiating. The NBA's official 2-minute report came out today and said, yeah, the calls were all correct. But the Rockets said, yeah, they were fouls, but they didn't call them fouls before. So anyway, there's that. And we also had, we've talked about this, we even had Drapes on today. He checked in to talk about Chuck and Kenny and Shaq last night talking about the Kings and the firing of Mike Brown, which was, well, it's unfortunate because there was so many other things to talk about last night. That was such a great game, A. And then B, they didn't really sound like they knew what they were talking about. So they just kind of talked in general about firing a coach. So that was unfortunate. Charles Barkley even said last night something along the lines of, well, it's hard for the Rockets. It's hard for a team when you're playing 5-on-8, implying that the Kings got, help from the officials. It's just too bad because there was so much great basketball that they could have talked about instead of what they did talk about. And then we also have some fans continuing to beat this drum today, and we've been hearing this for last week plus. Yeah, the Kings won last night, but De'Aaron Fox wasn't that great. So, do they really need him? Let's just start there, Jay, because I understand the sentiment, but last night is a glaring example of how that is just a misunderstanding of what's actually going on the basketball floor.
Ooh, in what form? Explain yourself.
Well, yes, De'Aaron Fox didn't have a great offensive night, although as the G-Man pointed out on X, De'Aaron Fox made 5 free throws in the fourth quarter. Made
yes, sir.
Free throws in the fourth quarter.
Yes, sir. Fourth quarter.
Had 3 steals.
Fourth quarter, Fox.
Yeah, in the fourth quarter, and those were big plays. 3 steals, 2 assists in the fourth quarter. Those were big time plays. Now he didn't have for him a very good offensive game. He scored 19 points, which when you win by 5, 19 helps, but he didn't shoot well. And so I think some people look at that and go, look, he didn't have that great of a game. So why do you need him? Monk had a great game, so trade De'Aaron Fox. But the thing is, one of the reasons he didn't have a great offensive game is because, as we've said, Amen Thompson guarded him. Thompson is he's incredible.
Yeah.
He's very young. He's only going to get better. And why was Amen Thompson their best defender? Why was he guarding De'Aaron Fox? Because De'Aaron Fox is the Kings' best offensive threat. That's not based on the Ringers top 100 or what Jay says or Drape says or what I say. That's based on the Houston Rockets, who are trying to win because they are trying to make money. They look at that and go, that's their best guy. So why would you want to trade that guy? Unless you could get 5 guys that are going to help you. Yeah. And I know De'Aaron Fox upset some people when he indicated he might not want to stay, but you don't want to trade a guy like that until A, you have to, or B, someone's given you an unbelievable return, which there's no reason to think they're going to get right now.
Right. The Rudy Gobert package.
Yeah. And even then, you don't want to shop that guy. So it's frustrating because I know Kings fans and De'Aaron Fox and Vivek and they all want the same thing. They want the team to be really good.
Right.
So it's frustrating when fans say, well, they should trade him because I don't think that's how you get to be very good. Again, unless it gets to that point later on where he says, I want out, then you have to. Right now, he helps you. He's an asset. It's good to have him on your team.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's, part of it is the negative connotation that a lot of times, fan bases have when their star has a bad night and or, is not playing up to the ability that they showcased in the past. The other part to that, though, and I find it super interesting in the form of this, is we've been hearing that through these wins, more or less now. 3 weeks ago, people falling, on their head about Fox not playing well or playing well, or, or vice versa, playing bad. So I just think it's kind of one of those things fan bases do. Unfortunately, Sacramento Kings fan bases fall into it. But I will say this. I think there is a fine line with De'Aaron in this form. Is he's 8 years in. He is a star. I think we would all agree he is not a superstar. He is not a mega star. I think most of us would probably agree he has the opportunity to be that. I'm not sure if he ever gets there, but I think his ability has shown and proved that if he wants to or can or whatever that last aspect he's got to cross the bridge to get there, if it happens, we're looking at a superstar. The tough part, I think, for Kings fans, and I'm just speaking from some, people who come up to us when we're walking around and having conversations at the dentist's office, people that want to talk to you once they find out you are who you are.
By the way, I hate it when the dentist wants to talk to you when you get stuff in your mouth.
Yes.
What do you think?
I just had it too.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I don't care about the Kings. I do not care. They don't care about me right now, and I don't care about them right now. But it's this, Whitey. We're talking about fine line of when De'Aaron is not at his best, can De'Aaron still stretch his ability into taking over a team, if that makes sense? And for me, I'm not sure that happens. And I think Kings fans are starting to kind of have that thought process of, we're looking around and we see young stars, people who've come behind De'Aaron, who've already achieved it. SGA, who was the game right in front of him, 40. We see Devin Bookers. We see guys that are younger, and I know Devin Booker, De'Aaron, but we see guys who are pretty much around that same age, Wemby, and they've kind of taken the next step, or at least it's been shoved in our face as they're superstars. And so I think Kings fans are starting to be impatient when you go through the losses that they did with Coach Mike Brown. And then you see at the same time, okay, look, they're winning, and they're winning despite De'Aaron. And now you throw in the fact that, he's kind of holding the organization's feet to the fire in some form of fashion, just saying, listen, I want to be competitive. I want to move on. As he said to you guys at Media Day, I got time, but I ain't got time to be playing around.
Yeah.
And so I think the fan base is kind of reciprocating some of that attitude to De'Aaron right now. And guess what? It happens everywhere else. It does. Yeah. New York, Chicago, Miami. Look, it happens. So, I'm not going to cry over spilled milk here in Sacramento for it to happen. I think media here in Sacramento is starting to say, well, maybe we got to get off of them. Or nah, if people feel as a fan base want to say, I want my star to be a star and I need it now, what's wrong with that?
Well, when we come right back, I'll tell you about the most scared I've ever been at the dentist and why it had to do with the Kings. It had to do with the Sacramento Kings.
Are you making this up, man?
I'm not making this up. You reminded me of it. It was scary. We'll look at why people say they should trade De'Aaron Fox and why they're wrong. And also this whole thing with the Kings and Doug Christie, why it's all coming together now. We have that and more when we come back to Sacktown Sports.
Hey, it's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, and the regular season is over, but the high hand bonuses, those are not. $500 per primetime football game, whether it's weekend, Monday night, whatever it may be. And those bonuses available until the season ends, including the big game on February 9th. Capital Casino, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com. Please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Fabric Talk. Hello, my love. I am your living room carpet. I see everything. I feel everything. After a while, I smell like everything, including Sir Pickles, who you snuggle with while binging that dating show you can't stop watching. So, how about we freshen things up with Febreze fabric spray? Ooh, and a big spray for my pals, couch and ottoman. Ah, yes, refreshing. Breathe happy, Febreze. La 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 la.
I joined the military for my kid and his mom. I miss my son a lot. One of the things with the military is tobacco, but that's how a lot of people try to deal with mental issues. Everyone's vaping constantly. After my first hit of a vape, I was hooked like that. Once I got back home from my deployment, I caught my son trying to hit my vape. That was it. I had to quit.
Californians are beating big tobacco. You can too. For free support, text Kick Nicotine to 66819 today.
Shop can't miss deals going on now during Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. For a limited time, get a free adjustable stand when you buy a DeWalt 12-inch miter saw. That's a $229 value. Plus, save $680 on a Midea 4-piece kitchen appliance suite. Now just $17.96. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 113 through 124. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. While supplies last. See store or Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
How about this from Steven Torres in the chat show? Music is on point. You make me want to go to Pandora Smokey Robinson Radio. Love it. Love you guys. Drive guys a must for me every day. Gonna rock till 6. Then it's the jams. Thanks, Jay and Whitey. Well, thank you, Steven Torres. But that's Jay. Occasionally he'll ask me, hey, you got a song? But the music, and I agree with you, it's always on point, and that's Jay.
I appreciate that, sir.
Yeah.
And Steven, too. Shouts out.
Yeah.
Steven sounds like he getting ready to relax for the Friday.
Does.
Hopefully he has a 3-day weekend as well. You know, not have to work too hard this weekend.
Yeah. I especially enjoy the Flashback Fridays with Jay. And you know what?
I do too. It's my favorite one.
I don't know that I've ever been on a show that had so many guests come on, and the first thing they say is, oh, man, I love that song.
Right.
Seriously, I'm serious. Yeah.
You know what it is, man? I'm a music guy, but I also, the way I formulate radio a lot of times is as a fan. Is if I'm listening, if nothing else, just pump me back up, you know, because one thing about commercials is it brings you down, right? 9 times out of 10, you looking for the remote controller.
Because I think they're all wonderful products that will improve your life.
Absolutely.
And well-being.
Good catch there, sir. Good catch.
All right, a couple things here. I wrote down what I said I was going to come through with. Scariest dentist story, what it has to do with the Kings. Why number one reason why people say you should trade Fox and why it's wrong, and then how this whole thing with the Kings came together and why they're in a better place. First of all, the dentist. This really happened. I think I was doing mornings in San Francisco at the time, and we were talking about the Kings, and it was right when it looked like they were going to move to Seattle. So right in the middle of that, and I was on the radio talking about, you know, Sacramento, and look, it's terrible, and Sacramento's a special place. I lived there, and then it'd be terrible if Seattle got to see them, all this stuff. So that day, I got to go to the dentist. I'm in the chair, and it's only like maybe the second time I'd been to this dentist. So, you know, I didn't really know him that well yet.
Didn't had a conversation flowing yet.
Not really.
They had no belief in you. I need to see if your hands are properly.
Yeah. So he's in there doing his stuff, and and he's like, so I heard you on the radio today. So that's always like, okay, great, yeah, So you heard what you said about Sacramento, the Kings, You think it's terrible what Seattle's doing, huh? I'm like, And he goes, yeah. He goes, I'm from Seattle. Wiley had all this stuff. And I'm like,
dang,
I'm in so much trouble.
Dang.
That really
from the Pacific. I'm from the Pacific.
Yeah. I'm from Seattle. I was like, He goes, that's fine. I do think maybe that was the day he cleaned my teeth, and I got home. I was like, hey, there's a piece of my tooth missing. Without really happening.
Oh, come on, man. Of all people of all time.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. So anyway, on De'Aaron Fox, we see this, Jay. People, I don't know if they call about it so much, but I see this in the text line. People say, De'Aaron Fox is not a top 20 player, maybe not even a top 10 player. So you trade him. Wait, what? As you said, he is on a path where maybe he could be one of those sooner rather than later. Maybe not. But are you saying you could trade him and you could get a top 10 player? You can't just go to the store and order them. He's still your best player. At the very least, he's like 1A, him and Domas.
Yeah.
Definitely when teams prepare for the Kings, and we've talked to, analysts about this, and they all know, well, yeah, when you prepare for the Kings, you prepare for De'Aaron Fox and Domas. So, but he's not a true superstar. You get rid of him? He's still an asset. So that's just not, I don't think it's a very helpful way to look at it.
Because, and I think it goes back to the thought process of what I said a couple segments ago, is you look around the landscape of the NBA, and over the last 10, 12, 15 years, you've seen so many stars move around, jump around, go from one team to another. You look around, you're like, how about me? How about me? How about me? You kind of scream to the roof and say, well, why can't we, meaning the Kings, get that? And then you also look around and the landscape and you see, again, some of these young guys like a OKC. You see SGA, J-Dub over at OKC and Memphis, Ja Morant. And you start to see how the NBA portrays these guys as superstars, all-stars. And I think some fans here in Sacramento and around, of course, the globe who are Kings fans are getting to the point to where it's like, I want one of those too.
Right.
I want that shiny new toy, or not new, but I want that shiny toy too. And I want some of that landscape to be put on us here in Sacramento.
Right.
I
understand that, but trading De'Aaron Fox doesn't mean that you get that.
Yeah,
right?
but again, we talked about it the last week or so. The trade machine is real these days in the NBA, and I mean, to the point you can go straight now to the 4-letter and work a trade. You can be armchair GM. So it's just the times and days we live in. I think, Whitey.
Yeah, I know, and I understand it, but I just think it's a kind of a backwards way to look at it. Like
it is.
Well, we need a player who's like this good, and he's not one of the top 10 players. So yeah, it's time to get something else for him. You do that if you're like going into a rebuild, and that's like back burner right now.
Tanking, yeah.
That's if this falls apart this year, maybe into next year, and De'Aaron looks at it and goes, yeah, I really do believe he wants to stay here, but I don't think he's going to stay here no matter what. So that you don't even want to deal with that yet. You may have to right now. You don't.
No. I'm with you. I don't think you cross that bridge until that bridge is upon you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I do think there is a common interest for Sacramento Kings fans, and it is this: they've tasted winning 2 years ago. It was removed from the plate a little bit. It's like this. Talking about ice cream, most people would say vanilla's pretty good. I've never met any person like, I don't eat vanilla ice cream. If you don't eat vanilla ice cream, you don't eat ice cream at this point, right? But there's also Rocky Road there. And it's like, not everybody likes Rocky Road. But you know what? Hey, I'll take it if it's there and I want some ice cream. Now, if you look at the Kings, it's kind of one of those conversations. 2 years ago, we had the pick of the litter. We had every ice cream with Baskin Robbins. We had cream. Last year's like, we got the Rocky Road. All right, I'll take it. I'm at the birthday party. I'm gonna eat it. And now people are getting back to the point of like, look, I want to go back to that party. I want to have the pick of my ice creams again. And so I think with that being said, Kings fans are just looking for any kind of way. And even if it goes to the point to where like, we're going to trade our guy, our star, the guy who's built this, the foundational piece for the Sacramento Kings, even if that means we got to ship him off to get something to make it look, or feel or whatever you want to call it, I think that's where some Kings fans are. Now, to me, it sounds like you're saying they're crazy.
Yeah, well, I don't know, they're crazy. Like you say, I understand what you're saying and I understand that thinking, but I think it's misguided because just taking the example you gave, you want to go back to that party 2 years ago. If De'Aaron Fox wasn't on your team, there were no party.
No. Yeah. You was watching it on Zoom.
Yeah. You wouldn't even get an invitation.
No, probably not.
Yeah,
no RSVP coming to your door.
A big party. I wish we were having a party without De'Aaron Fox, right? So
you're not even invited, right?
Yeah.
It's a. You guys have talked about it. You have to thread the needle. I would not want to be Monty McNair in making that decision. Wes Wilcox, anybody else that has to make that decision. It's a tough spot to be in because the difference now is De'Aaron has stood up and said, I will no longer not come to the party with you. One way or another, we going together or I'm going without you.
Right.
And so that's the tough part now for the Kings fans, for the Kings organization. And now as fans, we're looking and we're hearing that. We're hearing, De'Aaron still might go to the party, but he might not come with us.
Yeah.
Nah. It's one of them things. Well, you know what? Before he goes off and leaves us, we're going to let him go. Let's get rid of him before he gets rid of us type of mentality. And it's a tough spot to be in because I'm with you. I don't think De'Aaron necessarily wants to leave. Why would you want? This is his city.
Right.
He built this at this point.
Yeah.
Why would you want to leave? And if you're going to get close to $300 million, if not more, if you make all league, it makes no sense to leave.
He's got a beam colorway for his new shoe.
I know. I know.
He didn't have to do that.
Yep.
And again, I'm not saying he did Sacramento a favor, but it does indicate that he likes it here. Does it not?
I mean, have you heard anything different?
Nope.
Up until now. And it's not.
Even now he's saying, I do want
Right.
to stay here, but I'm
There
not
you go.
sure I will.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking for something bigger and better.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to do it with you.
Mhm.
I want to do it together. Help me out. I'm helping you.
Yeah.
You know?
He was the 2 years ago, as we keep mentioning, third team all league.
Yeah.
That's legit.
And
Yeah.
top 15 for that year, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not to mention closer of the year. You know, I mean, the thing about De'Aaron is we're asking for, or I'm speaking for myself. Let me speak for myself. I'm asking for De'Aaron to be a superstar because I feel to win a championship, you have to have a superstar. I'm not sure if Domantas Sabonis is a superstar. They're both stars, though.
Mm-hmm.
I can't ask for these guys to take the next step to be a superstar and then don't act like it. Superstars act like De'Aaron is acting. We see guys who are putting these organizations' feet to the fire. And again, more now than ever, 20 years, stars are leaving. They're not even like, man, forget all, I'm out. I'm gone. I'm to the next team. So I can't ask for something and don't expect it to come back to me at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I think there are different ways for a player to prove that he's a superstar, he or she. And I think one of the most common ways is excellence in the postseason. In the last postseason, I think De'Aaron Fox was poised to make progress in that area till he broke his finger. It happens. You can't say, well, he would have. We don't know, but I think he would have. Domas, he did not have a good series.
No, he didn't.
And he historically has not been as good in the postseason.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the reasons why, well, what do these guys do? How come they're not that good? They have to get back to the postseason and they have to play really well. And I think that would take care of a lot of that. That's my opinion, but they're on track for that, hopefully to address that this season. But this season for the whole organization, it's not, what does De'Aaron want us to do? We got to placate De'Aaron. It's like De'Aaron wants what we want. So if we do everything we can to make the team as good as it can be and it works, everything's going to take care of itself.
Yeah.
So that everything is all in on this team right now in this core.
Yeah. You know, the other thing of just listening to you is it's funny, man, because as Sacramento Kings fans, this is uncharted water. It hasn't been that way in a long time.
Yeah.
This is uncomfortable. You know, it's like, dang, we're dealing with somebody who's on a high level, you know, in the NBA, someone who's considered to be one of those guys. And it's like, oh man, we really want him to be one of us. And sometimes we know how Sacramento fans are. We accept you no matter what. We love you. You don that jersey. We got nothing but love for you until you turn your back on us. As Drape said, turncoat. Don't be a turncoat, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I really believe we're kind of pressing into uncharted waters as Kings fans. We ain't seen something like this in 20, 30 years.
You're right.
But even then, the 2000s teams, none of them dudes want to leave. They were crying when they got traded.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go. Now we got stars who like, yeah, I want to be here. But guess what?
Yeah.
I'm not getting ready to be sitting here not making the playoffs for another 5 more years.
Right.
So, you know, it's uncomfortable right now, Sacramento, in many different ways.
Mm-hmm. We'll come back with a look at how, based on some things that Sam said yesterday and from what I've seen, I think I can explain the whole arc here from Mike Brown into Doug Christie, the Kings ending up in a really good spot now. How has that all happened? Why did it all happen? We'll break that down when we come right back to Sac Town Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Clear this evening and cooling off quickly. We'll start Saturday morning with some patches of low clouds and fog with afternoon sun and highs near 60. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
Elk Grove Honda reports that Honda has earned 3 coveted 2025 Car and Driver 10 Best Awards for the 3rd year in a row, honoring Honda Civic, Accord, and CRV. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave coming to you from my good friends at American Energy. Look, it's already cold outside. It's only going to get colder. American Energy wants to help you stay warm and make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of the $49 tune-up inspection. Normally $119, $49 right now, and that includes a full safety and duct inspection. And check it out, if your system's over 10 years old, and I'll bet it is, the tune-up, yeah, it's free. It's free from a company that's been in business since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ Better Business Bureau. Check their Yelp, check their Google reviews. Don't take my word for it. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. If you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Check them out at theaeway.com and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
And now, a very brief history of the garage door. Garage doors could date back to 450 BC when chariots were stored in gatehouses. Here in the States, they became a thing around the start of the 20th century. You could find a float-over door in a catalog way back in 1906. I don't actually remember that. I looked it up. But National Garage Door has been around since 1974. They are family-owned and operated, so you can trust them to solve any garage door issues you may have. Squeaky door, malfunctioning door, or a need for a new door, which is what prompted us to give them a call, 916-638-4554. At National Garage Door, service is their number one priority. I've witnessed that commitment in my own home, certainly in our garage. National Garage Door sells quality Rainer-branded garage doors. They are the region's BSE. That's Broken Spring experts for the uninitiated. So if you have a garage door that looks and sounds like it dates back to 450 BC, National Garage Door can help, whether it's a garage door tune-up, garage door repair, or replacement. They'll take care of you at National Garage Door, 916-638-4554.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers game day. Secure your spot at Levi's Stadium for the 2025 season.
20, one block and he's in.
Season tickets are available now. Inventory is limited, so to speak with a representative, call 415-GO 49ers.
Touchdown!
That's 415-GO 49ers.
San Francisco!
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Here is another, I think, great example of the type of thinking that I'm talking about, that I think Jay's talking about, and I think it's a little misguided. Maybe I'm misinterpreting. And again, I also want to thank everybody who participates. I'm not calling anybody out here. We can disagree. We're just talking sports. But from the 916 in the on the text line, Fox got close, but isn't going to be super. He's a number 2 at best on a great team. Now, I don't know if that's true, but let's just for a moment assume that's true. Number 2 at best on a great team. Think of any great team you want in your mind, any great team, and think who the number 2 is on that player. I'll bet you they're really good.
Yeah.
I'll bet you want to go Jaylen Brown, or you want to go Steph
Scottie
Curry
Pippen.
or Kevin Durant, or the number 2 on a great team is still really good. So, and again, I'm not even sure that's true, but that does that mean you want to get rid of him because the best he could be is a number 2 on a great team? I don't quite get it. I do understand, although I'm not sure I agree with this either, Jay, but there are some people that say here in the chat, his energy level, focus, it seems like sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
And I think we've even talked about how sometimes he's got more intensity than others.
Yeah.
I understand that. That's frustrating.
And totally understand. Hence, for me, I could see how fans are saying that's why he's not a superstar. That they question when they question his superstardom. Those are the things that the aspects that they're talking about. And so I totally get it. I truly do. I would agree with some of those things. I do think there are some opportunities for De'Aaron to take the necessary steps to be a superstar. I don't know if some of those people who, detractors, and I'm not calling them detractors, but some of those statements being detracting.
Yeah.
If they believe he can be a superstar, I think he has it. I just don't think he's accomplished it yet, and with that being said, I've also said, sooner or later, we also have to just call a spade a spade. Hey, listen, this is just who you are, and that's okay. And that's why I said over the last year or so, I've come to grips is if De'Aaron doesn't become a superstar, I'm with you. Being a great number 2, a 1A, or whatever you want to call it, a Robin to a Batman, I think you still need those type of guys to win a championship.
Yeah. I will say, and I know Jay has been very clear about this himself. He doesn't need me to speak for him, but he's never been Mr. De'Aaron Fox is the greatest ever. And he hasn't been saying he wants to run him out of town.
No.
You've been very, I think, fair and balanced in your assessment of his play since as long as I've known you.
I think, man, honestly, it's because, the typical coach speak, I want more. Like, I think De'Aaron has everything you need to be a superstar. And the other part that sometimes is frustrating for me is he's got the opportunity, where Kings fans, we're so forgiving. We're so welcoming. We're so understanding. And that's why I said it, we're uncharted territories, because I can't really remember who's the last quote unquote best player on the team to say, or else, here in Sacramento. Like, when I can't remember the last person to say, or else I'm gone. Maybe Rudy Gay, but he was never considered the guy. That was DeMarcus at the time.
Yeah.
DeMarcus didn't want to go. Again, we go back to the heydays of the Kings. No one wanted to go.
The only thing it reminds me of, and it's different, subtly different, but significantly different at the same time, was, when Webb was a free agent and it looked like he was looking around. He ended up staying here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying they're the same. I'm just saying that's the closest thing I can think of.
Yeah.
But as far as the coaching change, and as someone said today, I think in the chats, like, we've been over that and over that. And I know, but I just think this is a good point at which we can kind of tie it all together. Because I think in doing so, we can answer some of these questions we're having, which is, like, why are they playing so well now? Sam Amick yesterday was on with Dave, and I don't know if you had a chance to catch that. And I want to thank the great Tony Ray Harvey. He texted me today and he said, wow, Sam had some interesting things to say. It was right towards the end of their interview.
Yep.
You can check it at sacktownsports.com. And Sam said that the Kings had been looking at Doug as a coach for a long time.
Yes.
He said, that Doug was on staffs of previous coaches where it's like, oh, you're the coach. Hey, this guy's going to be on your staff. You okay with that? Yeah, I'm okay. Because clearly ownership, front office, they were looking at Doug as a guy who could be coach someday. Remember, I think it was yesterday, I said something to Drapes about how, I think Mike was feeling like his job might be in jeopardy as far back as like last November. Drapes like, really? Well, Sam said yesterday, and again, I'm paraphrasing, but as best I can remember, he said that after the Kings made the coaching move, he started hearing from people around the league who said, we didn't tell you, Sam, at the time, but we've been hearing about Doug Christie and the Kings being really interested in Doug Christie going as far back as last November. And again, that's Sam, what he says he's been told. Now, to me, that makes sense because I can remember last November was when watching Mike Brown, he started making these public pleas to the media. And it sounded like this guy thinks he's going to lose his job or he's not going to get the extension. So I think one of the things that happened was maybe it goes back to when they lost the series to the Warriors. I don't know. Some of this I'm guessing. I think ownership was not sure about Mike. And I think Mike he knew that. And I think last year it was something that kind of created some negativity and some dysfunction. And I think the players got caught up in that. It's like,
Wow.
What are we doing? Is he still going to be the coach? He doesn't seem to know if he's going to be the coach. He's coming after us now. He's playing us a lot of minutes. He's trying to win games. Why? I think he's trying to save his job. So that can create a lot of
friction
and misunderstanding, confusion. So then they settle it like Mike Brown's out, Doug's in. Well, we've seen that clearly. It's like, well, that was a good move. I think a big part of it, it's not only what Doug has done, and he's done some wonderful things, but a big part of it is just that's all gone now. And the players, when they talk about, we're just all together, they don't, that's not hanging over their heads anymore. What are we doing? Who's the coach? Is Mike still the coach? What's going on? What are they going to do? Now it's like, all right, Doug's the guy. Here we go.
Wow.
And that's what brings your culture back together, because now everyone is on the same page.
Wow.
Don't you think?
So clarity.
I mean,
I see where you're going.
And I'm not blaming anybody or saying anybody was at fault, but to me, it's like, oh, that's what happened.
The very first thing that I found super interesting was how hard it was, or I don't know this, how hard it felt for Coach Brown to get re-upped.
Yeah.
I just felt that was so difficult.
Yeah.
And I know they were talking money, and, money definitely makes the world go round, but I found it super interesting in the fact that, like, dang, why is it so hard for a guy who just had success, a season ago to get his money?
I think the powers that be back that far and even further were like, not sure this is the guy for us.
So you basically saying, like, even in the first season.
No, first season was great.
Okay.
I think maybe it started when they lost that playoff series. I don't know. But last year, and maybe it's because his extension was coming up.
Sure.
To me, clearly there were signs that he doesn't feel like he's on very solid footing.
Wow. That's super interesting. I see you hypothesizing over there big time.
If you get a chance, you might want to hear Sam. Sam.
Yeah, I
really
saw that. I saw it. Yeah,
I
I did see that. Super interesting. One thing I'll say is this. I do think there is something to be said, and I always go back to Kings fans and how this city treats this team and this team the way it operates. They definitely hold on to their family, meaning they find places. They have an affinity for keeping that 2000s team around. And I've been the first one to say, I truly believe for us to move on, it's not we got to forget, it's we need to move on.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. But I wouldn't be surprised if, Doug, Coach Christie has been looked at from the organization's lens as someone that we can build. Definitely great basketball mind, good spirit, great person. Checks all the boxes. I'll be the first one to say Coach Doug Christie is one of the finest cats that I ever known, right? Checks the boxes.
They were grooming him.
Yeah.
Basically.
I wonder. Yeah. That's super interesting for you to say that. And for Sam to say, he's got some sources.
Yeah. And I believe Sam even suggested that there was some thought that maybe Doug could be named the coach when Mike was, and I think Sam's, the way he put it was, it was the front office saying, no, he's not. We're not ready for that yet.
Yeah. Not ready. Yeah, because you have to learn to be a head coach in this league, man.
Yeah,
there's so many different things that go upon it, and I always go back to we just had that situation here in Sac State. Coach Andy Thompson, longtime coordinator, got the opportunity when Coach Troy Taylor moved out over to Stanford. And one of the things I heard is, hey, listen, I love football, I love the sport, I love the rock. Let's keep it moving. But then when you take the head coaching position, as we've heard Coach Christie say, as we've heard head coaches say, there's so many things that's on your plate that sometimes your love, the game, coaching kind of gets pushed to the wayside, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, I got to kind of be the judge, jury, and executioner.
Kind of a cross purposes.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely. So I could see that. I could definitely see that.
When we come back,
if I hear what you're saying, it's a done deal. He'll be the new coach.
Don't you think?
Permanent.
Unless they lose every game from here on out, I think it's pretty much his to lose. Don't you think? I mean, it looks that way.
I don't know, man. I refrain from saying that. Yeah, I'm not sure.
You don't want to jinx it or something?
Yeah. I'm superstitious. I'm a baseball player, man.
Yeah, I get that. You know that the Kings have the beam, the Orlando Magic. They have their own version of something like the beam. We'll tell you all about it next. Sacktown Sports.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Something amazing is happening in education. Students are inspired and engaged. That's because school districts consulted with CDW, who designed modern classroom solutions with pre-configured HP devices, making learning more accessible, secure, and immersive. Now, when students study topics like elephants, it feels like elephants are there with them. HP and CDW make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/HPPSG.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came packed to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Hey, horror movie fans. The Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento is now serving adult beverages. This week, get ready for Wolfman, the IMAX experience.
What was that thing, Blake?
It was like an animal, but it was standing on 2 feet.
The best place to experience this action-packed thriller is on the Esquire IMAX 6-story screen.
Something's happening to me.
With heart-pounding audio that'll keep you on the edge of your seat. Get your tickets early at IMAX.com/Sacramento. And don't miss Wolfman, playing this week at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Happy New Grill. Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Give your family a real treat as we did on Christmas Eve. Bring out all the flavors of the new year with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. Napoleon grills have features other grills can't match. They're built different, built better, built to last. Complete with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Whitey and Napoleon Grills wish you Happy New Year. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
The good news, you finally lost the excess weight and found the body you knew was hiding underneath it all along. The better news? InShape Fitness is here to help you maintain your new look and, dare we say it, enjoy the process. InShape has everything you need to build muscle and help keep the weight off. From fitness classes and personal trainers to swimming pools and saunas. Plus, plenty of full-length mirrors to admire your new self along the way. We are InShape. You are ready. Join online today at InShape.com.
Thunder, feel the thunder. It ignites something inside of you. Lightning and the thunder. Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it. Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Thanks, Jay. Jay gave me the final song of the week. Hope I didn't disappoint.
I jump in the car and play this.
I wonder, is James Jamerson? You know what James Jamerson is? James Jamerson is a great bass player that was, I think he was, most of the Motown records of the 60s, early 70s, he played bass, uncredited. He was phenomenal. Paul McCartney says, "Oh, yeah, I stole all his stuff."
just blatant, I stole all of it.
He listened, he's like, "Oh, yeah, I took all his stuff." James.
But
I
what
wonder
he
if
was giving love to James, saying I stole all this stuff like I mimicked him. Okay.
Yeah, he's saying, oh, he was a great bass player.
Really?
James Jamerson.
I should know that.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Jamerson or Jamerson?
Yeah, that's a bad job by me. I'm gonna go take care of that.
We take care of each other.
Yeah.
We learn from each other.
Yeah.
Not a bad job at all. Thank you for playing that, Jay.
Absolutely. I love that.
You know, we have the beam here and it's great. And I've wondered sometimes, is anyone else going to try to do something like the beam? Are we going to have a beam? Or the A's going to have a beam? I don't know. But the Orlando Magic have something. You've heard this, Jay, or you've seen it?
I've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Years and years ago, and I think it started back in 1989 when they were founded or formed. They had a song, the Orlando Magic song. And over the years, they'd bring it back and they'd kind of remix it and it'd go away. And according to an article here at ESPN, they decided they wanted to do something like the beam. They took inspiration from the Sacramento Kings' Light the Beam. And so their social media team sought to create their own victory tradition in Orlando that would bridge the gap between social media and the in-arena experience. So by February 24, they had developed their answer. They bring players and fans together through post-win video reveals on the court, and they play that song, a remix of the original Orlando Magic song, which I don't know what you think, Jay. I mean, it's 80s. I'll say that without being too critical of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they post this song and then they have crazy videos that go with it.
Yeah, it's got like a montage of things, that goes along with it.
And it's a different one for every.
Yeah, I don't know if is it a different one?
I think it is. Okay. And I think they picked different images. Like when they beat Toronto, there was some goofy Drake video they had in there.
Okay. Yeah, I think I saw that the Drake situation. It's you know what it is? It's typical Disney. Like it works perfect for Orlando Magic. Yeah, but it ain't the beam.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's not even close to the beam.
This song
came up with a little song and a pompous dance, and man, this ain't no beam.
Yeah, but that really speaks to how unique and impactful the beam has been, where you have other teams going, "Oh, we need something like that."
I thought it was corny though.
I
thought this, a lot of folks out there calling the beam corny.
I don't think, but it's everyone. That's what people say when they're like, I wish I thought
you got
that.
beat, right?
Oh, that's corny. I wish I was corny like that. Yeah. I don't know if they're going to play it tonight because they're down. Well, they still got time. 4:46 left in the third quarter. Boston leading Orlando 82-66. So I don't know if they'll be playing the what is the name of it? The Orlando. I was going to say the Light the Beam song, but it's just the Orlando Magic theme song.
Yeah, I think it's just Orlando. Yeah, theme song. Let's see.
Jalen Suggs says it's a really cool tradition.
Sure it is.
In a serious game and at points and times of series season, you can allow yourself to let go a bit, kind of fun, smile, and just enjoy the song. So good for them.
Right. Ooh. Get to play your little song. Doesn't everybody play music at the end of the game? Turn it on. We play music.
Yeah. But this is their tradition.
All right, I ain't going to hate on that because if folks hate on the beam and I'll be the first one to be like, man, shut up.
I'll give them credit because they admit. They're not saying, oh, we had our own idea. They're admitting, we wanted to do something kind of like the beam.
Just like you said, Paul McCartney giving love.
Yeah.
I took, I mimicked.
Yes.
Give me his name one more time. James,
and it's either Jamerson or Jamerson.
Okay.
I think it's Jamerson. I apologize if I'm saying it wrong.
No, absolutely. We got to
learn. My Girl, I believe that's him. Boom, 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 boom. Yes. Boom. I believe that's James Jamerson.
Temp gang, huh?
Yeah. A great bass player. Uncredited, of course, as most of those guys were at that time. Jay, we've got the Washington Wizards coming up, and I know that you are not the least bit concerned, anxious. You're not worried about trap game, nothing like that, huh?
No, because I think this team has their head on straight right now. I think they've figured out, we can't play to a certain level and still go out there and get some W's. And we just, we're not too far away from the fact that we were getting beat by the Pistons at home.
Yeah.
So I think this team is moving in the right direction. I'm not going to get on here and be like, oh, yeah, they're winning the championship. Slow down there. But I do think they are in front of the fact now where it's like, we can't be losing to Washington at home.
No.
If we want to accomplish some of the goals that are set forth. And I just think Coach Doug Christie is now kind of put in their mind, and we've heard it 2 or 3, 4 times. We played it earlier today, protecting your house. You don't want nobody to run up in your house, put their feet up on your coffee table, step on your couch like Rick James. You don't need that. So you got to take care of business. I'd rather invite you than you kick in the door, right? And I think you can't let Washington kick in the door.
Right. So we'll see you out there on Sunday.
I'm still making a decision. Right. Are you going or?
I'm planning on going.
Are you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so maybe we'll see you out there.
Is it because of Sunday game?
Oh, or I didn't go last night.
Oh, okay.
But I want to. Yeah. I never miss a chance to see Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma.
Maybe a future king, right?
Have a great holiday weekend. We're back with you. Well, I'm on tomorrow, True Sports Card Show tomorrow morning, and then we're back with you on Tuesday, right, Jay?
Yes, sir. Tuesday it is.
Yeah. So
have a great MLK holiday as well.
Yeah, you too. Stick around. We got Infinity Radio next on Sacktown Sports.
I get